Sorry about that, guys. Brand new computer, as I said. Well, welcome back. Welcome to Roll for Damage, where a group of us geeky friends decide to get together and showcase their storytelling through Dungeons and Dragons for all of the interwebs. As I was saying, brand new computer, and apparently Streamlabs doesn't. It like cloud saves everything, but not your camera setup. So, that's a thing. And I forgot to do this scene before I went live. And if someone knows of a way, I could probably Google this eventually, but I'll probably forget before like the stream is over. But you can't edit scenes while your stream is live, because if you like cut over to the scene, it's going to change what you're doing. So that's why I had to fix this live on cam for all of you guys. But we are back for the next, I want to say, like 3 weeks before we go on holiday once more for the Christmas break, because Christmas Day actually does fall on a Friday, and people will be with their families and stuff like that. Probably not traveling, but wanting to spend time. And New Year's Day also falls on a Friday, and though I doubt many of us will be out partying it up for all to see. Again, a lot of people are just taking the time to spend with their families and get stuff done before starting the new year and getting back into the groove of things. So we're here, I guess, up until session 40 for the next couple of weeks, and then we will be off for 2 for everyone to kind of go and have a break. I don't think there are any other announcements. We will be back with What's the Damage on Tuesday, and then back into the swing of things again up until our break. So please come on the ride with us. There's some exciting stuff coming up, most likely. I mean, these guys get into a lot of wild and wacky stuff. So yeah, other than that, I don't think there's much else. So with that, I think we can get into tonight's session of Roll for Damage. Okie dokie. Let me get some music set up here so we can get started on the right foot. I believe it is. Oh, wait, I'm going to the wrong one. Oh, I have too many browser tabs. Okie doke. So, last we left off, the Shields of Twilight had come back from the ruins of madness to make their way back north into the Cursed Wasteland to circle back to Cagebarrow, where they had a favor to take care of for Lex before heading off towards Izel for other reasons. Making their way into the city, they were pilfered from by unknown assailants, and in their haste to get their items back, a confrontation happened during the middle of the day in the bazaar, where a large portion of merchants were murdered by the group and someone who was helping them, who turned out to be the god of war and conquest, Bane. The group, realizing what they had done after getting some of their things back, were arrested in the sense of the law of Cagebarrow and taken to the headquarters of the Desert Rose. There they met Aiden, the sort of captain of the group, who explained to them that he was in a bind, that he was not going to execute anyone, as that was not their way. They were not martial executioners, but that he could not just allow outright murder in the streets to happen without any consequences. And he gave them a ultimatum: either pay penance by helping the city, by going out and hunting and gathering food required to supply the residents who made a permanent home in the city and defended it, and the merchants and residents who stayed there, or be exiled into the desert to never return, but they would get their items back and they could be on their way. The group decided to pay the penance, take the hunting trip, chose to go to the mountains instead of the jungle, and were told that and were given the proper supplies needed to gather the meat and furs and any other sort of parts of the beasts that they hunted that would be useful for various things that could be used by the town. And they were told that once they came back successfully after gathering 3 large beasts worth of meat and other pieces, then they would be inducted into the Desert Rose and be they would have paid their penalty for doing what they did, and have other sort of responsibilities, but that they would tell them when they returned. They were given a guide to get them there, who would also be watching over their actions, just to make sure that if they decided to just run away and not come back, that would be told to the rest of the Desert Rose, so that they would be aware of the situation should the group ever try to return. The group took a day, rested, and made their way to the mountains to start the initial hunt, which, with Perry's insight into just natural hunting from being in a tribe that had to survive on the land, were able to use some of her magic and some general skill to find their way to the sort of grazing grounds of this bull-like creature that none of them had ever really seen, but seemed to be a denizen of the mountains. They had to make their way through some other creatures who called the mountain home, a strange sort of race of giants who were quite hostile. But managing to get there, they were able to down a creature and successfully harvest it for meat and pelt. After completing that, it was getting late, and the group decided to sleep nestled up against the mountain where they were in this grazing ground, as it was currently empty, And as the night came to a close and the morning began to rise, that is where we pick up. So, Shields of Twilight. The morning rises. I need someone to roll me a d6, please. I don't care who does it, but one person has to do it.
I did it.
I got it.
Awesome.
There you go, one.
All right.
Really bad.
So for those who are awake at the time and kind of waking the group, you noticed as sort of the sun began to rise, the skies darkened over the mountain range, and it looks like a storm is coming in. And as you begin to wake everyone, you see the very first signs of hitting the dome. And as the dome eventually fades, you find yourselves now getting soaked under the storm passing over this mountain as it is hitting you, waking some of you up as you are kind of gradually opening your eyes and getting ready. Okay. No more echo. Sorry about that, guys. Just make sure. Ooh, okay.
All right.
So, you are awake. The rain is coming down, but you have the day ahead of you.
All right.
Cool. I'm just gonna look to Perry and be like, all right, well, you've got lead here, so
All right. So
anything we need to do differently with the weather conditions?
well, first things first, we need to decide what we want to look for.
I mean, big things we found yesterday seem to be rather easy to take down. If we can find more of them, that might be good. Otherwise, we can go back to trying to find mountain lions or anything else we know what happens to be in the area.
Right.
That herd, though, was probably long gone.
Yes.
Yeah, that herd specifically, but maybe there are more or something. I'm just saying is we got one done pretty quickly and easily, and we got everything we needed out of it.
Well, that's true, and we could look into another herd. Not particularly worried about easy. Based on the surrounding area, and the weather conditions, could I do like a nature check to see if I know like which animals would be taking shelter right now and what would be easier to hunt?
Sure, you can make a nature check. Go ahead and roll it.
Cool. Let's turn off advantage. 11. We're not starting this off well.
I mean, you're not too well versed in the mountains.
Yeah.
You get the sense that most things would probably try to ride out a storm, whether it be in their dens or caverns.
Right.
Generally, they wouldn't want to stay out in the open. The other thing you kind of know is that, like, smells and like tracks are probably going to be harder to follow. Not impossible, but it'll be slightly more difficult, just given that the rain will wash a lot of things away, and make way for fresh ground, basically.
Right. My primary concern here is that I don't see wanting to try to track a mountain lion down in its den.
Fair.
Did that we were by a drinking hole, right?
You were by a watering hole when you met up with those
With the
giant creatures.
giant things. Yeah. What are the odds that there are fish in there? Not good. Good. Maybe do some fishing today instead.
Would fish count?
You were asked for large beast.
Yeah, fish is not gonna cut it.
If we can get a rather large fish, like
Yeah,
one that
large.
could have an equal chance of,
Right.
killing us as we did of killing it, then maybe. But
But probably
I will also say though, like you were just there the other day, so you would know this.
Not-
It didn't have fauna in, like it didn't have animals in it at least, or fish in it. It
Yeah.
had like a bit of like algae and stuff like that,
Yeah.
just from
I was
growing
gonna
up,
say.
and a little bit
Yeah.
of like greenery growing around it. But
Yeah.
it wasn't so naturally occurring that fish would have sprung up from it.
Right. That's
Yeah.
what I was kind of thinking. It also didn't. I mean, we didn't think that it was that deep either. So
No, you were like to ankle level. So like the fish, if there were fish living in there, they'd have to be like beta fish kind of
Minnows,
thing.
yeah.
minnows.
Yeah, minnows, those kinds of things.
There'd
so
be
that-
bait in that pond, but I don't
Probably
think
get
there'd be
the,
anything.
Fishing episode.
And there might be like
Yeah.
bottom feeders like crayfish, like tiny
Yeah.
little crayfish
Yeah.
kind of things and stuff like that. But
so we
bugs,
get a bunch of
snails,
crayfish, and then we just have a nice big
maybe
crayfish
earthworms, those
crawfish
kinds of
boil
things. But
when we get to town. It'll be fine.
but
I'm
yeah,
on
you
board
don't-
with that.
I mean, who ain't?
Uh-huh. Yeah, everything's gonna be trying to ride out the storm.
All right.
I mean, I'm kind of thinking we might. I mean, the oryx are going to be maybe our best bet if we can find another herd,
All right.
unless we really want to try to hunt something down in its den.
I mean, if we find something in
Probably
its
will.
den, like the mountain lions, those aren't usually solitary, are they?
No. Well,
Might
some.
not be the best idea then if we might come up on more than we can handle at once.
I mean, you might find a mated pair, honestly.
Right.
Or a whole pack. Okay. I think, yeah. All right. I'm going to sit down and ritually cast locate plants and animals, focusing on the oryx again, and see if we luck up.
Okay. While she is just sitting there doing that, I'm going to use my shield as an umbrella for her, just because sitting in ever dampening ground cannot be pleasant. So I want to try and mitigate that a little bit.
Okay.
It's squishy under my butt.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. So after the 10 minutes goes by, as you guys are like standing out in the rain.
Brianna would be standing away from the group,
Okay.
just as a reference point.
Okay. So Oriana, you're kind of like doing your own thing a few feet away from the group. The 10 minutes goes by and you kind of hear a as the storm gets heavier and the rain starts to come down in heavier force, and you see off in the distance a few flashes, and then you hear the
Mm-hmm.
How long between? Because Quinn would know that trick.
Yeah, I was going to say, Perry'd start counting.
At this point, it's still a ways off, so you're probably at around like you see a flash, you hear the noise. It's like how long it takes for the noise to hit you. So, maybe like 7 seconds or so.
Okay.
Okay.
That works. For while we're out, if it gets to me a point where the storm looks to be it's getting like over top of us and travel would be hazardous, then I want to try and be keeping an eye out for a place to take up shelter, either that or.
But
Well, actually-
yeah, okay. Well, right now you're in the same place, and you know there's nowhere here right now.
Yeah, I know, but we're not going to be here very. for
Yeah.
very
So when
long.
you start to,
Yes,
I'll keep in mind that you're keeping an eye out.
please and thank you.
The 10 minutes goes by, and Perry, you do get a sense of those creatures,
Mhm.
but it is probably on the very edge of your
Yeah.
of your like 5 miles. It's 5 miles, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Of your 5 mile
5 miles
radius.
out. Yeah.
Ooh.
Way
Oof.
to the south of the mountains.
Okay. Well, that presents a problem. We'd be walking 5 miles, and I don't know if they're going to be still there.
Probably be harder in this storm. If it gets
All right.
cold.
Maybe try something else that's closer by. You want to try that again, or do you want to just start walking, see if we look out for a bit? Because
See, the
storm
problem-
doesn't show any sign of letting up.
Maybe we gotta find a place to hold up ourselves. If we get lucky with something, maybe this day might be a little gone. You know what I mean? Better not push our luck than to press on and face a storm. You know, usually it takes all contestants without a hitch.
Right. My problem is that I'm not from the mountains. If we were in the middle of the woods, I might be a little bit better off. I figure we can start moving south,
And
see what we can see, maybe stumble across something.
So, are you going up back the way that you came towards where you had originally pinged on the mountain lions, or are you going around the switchback the way that the Aurochs had ran off when you had scared them?
The orcs went like down the other side of the
Yeah,
mountain.
so you
Yes.
guys came like you like imagine there's this like plateau,
right,
Mhm.
and then
on the-
you guys came like down from one side of it, and they ran around the other side of it and down. And now you don't know how far that path goes or where it like
Right.
splits off. But they went around the other side, and the side that you came up had another path upward, and towards the continuing south, but going like a little bit higher up. And that was where the mountain lions had pinged, but you came this way.
Yeah.
Actually, you didn't know. Sorry, you came this way because you had seen this is where you had seen that the higher path was where the giants, because you'd seen their footprints. You didn't want to go in the same direction where they had came from.
Yeah.
So you went down this way, and then you had met the Aurochs. So you could go back up the mountain lion way, or you could go around the other way. And you see that the path initially goes down. You're not sure how far down it goes. Could go for a while down, could switch back again and split off. You're not really sure.
Okay.
I mean, if we really want to double back and see if we can find the mountain lions, we can try that. They might be closer.
I'm for
other
that. I
than
think it'll work. Because either that or we trudge around for about how many miles, you say? About 5 maybe?
yeah,
Or something that probably won't even be there when we can catch up with it.
right.
If that's going to work with that, what works better, then we can do it.
What does everybody else think?
If we find more cats than just one, I mean, that's less we have to look in general.
True enough.
Fair point.
Finding
What say you, Campion?
Yeah, Campion is currently trying to keep his shit from like getting any wetter than possible, and he's like, "What? Yeah, I really don't care as long as we get somewhere. I don't have to get all wet."
I don't think that's happening. We are outside, and outside is half liquid at the moment.
It's like trailing down your like glasses, and your hair is kind of.
Well, staying
getting all
in a wet place
soppy.
so we can get this done and get the fuck out of here. Honestly,
I'm not enjoying this either, you know. I'm wearing mostly metal. This shit does not dry out well.
Rust and mildew is really gonna suck for you.
Well,
It's May, yeah. I'm gonna have to clean it up quite a bit at the end of the day. If we're gonna do anything, we got to get moving because the storm is only getting closer to where we are. So
yeah, agreed.
I say we get a move on, see if we can find the mountain lions since they're closer. And while we're going, keep an eye out. The storm gets to be too much. We stop and find shelter, or Oriana, you may want to, create a place for us to hunker down for a little while.
She just nods.
All right.
Okay.
I'll just look to Perry.
Well,
Off-
away we go
After
then.
you.
Right.
And I'm gonna turn us so we double back and head toward where the mountain lions might
All
have
right.
been.
Yeah, easy enough. You were close enough to that path, and you begin trudging up. And thankfully, where you currently are, this far in the mountain, it's not really getting. So when in the plateau where you are, it was starting to get a bit sort of soggy ground.
Mhm.
But the mountain paths are much rockier. So it's like it's more hard packed dirt and less muck. But it is harder to see as the rain is kind of pelting you in the face as you're like looking up to like make your way up. And you can see like certain areas are a little bit more slippery because there is no muck to kind of stamp in your footprint and kind of gain traction. So
Right.
that is something that you're noticing. But for now, you're not on like a heavy incline or too treacherous a path, and you feel confident enough that you can start making your way up. It only takes you a few minutes, and you finally make your way back to like that T-junction where the watering hole is kind of like off to your left, and you can continue up this next path ahead of you in the direction that those strange creatures who had attacked you in the watering hole had come from. So as you are going in this direction and attempting to track mountain lions, how are you doing so?
Okay.
That is a good question, because everything is all soppy wet, so there's going to be no like looking around for tracks for the most part. Yeah.
Yeah, I
It's
think
not
just gonna
none.
be-
It's not none. It's just it's going to be more difficult.
Right.
Right.
And
Okay,
the
well.
longer the rain goes for and you wait, the more likely tracks
Yeah.
will be washed out.
Yeah.
In that case, I say we would try that first, because if we can find any track, at least point us in the right direction. Then if they get
Yeah.
washed out, at least we're heading.
So is
towards
that what
where
you're
we
looking for then,
they
Quinn?
were. I think just if not tracks, then literally just animal sign, like
That's fine. Okay.
broken
so go ahead
branches,
and make,
tough to
go ahead
fuzz
and
on a
make
tree. Something.
a survival check to see if you can find anything that gives you idea for tracks or signs of beast life or anything
Okay.
like that.
Cool. I would also like to guide myself. I'm saying in advance if I can. If this is over time, then never mind.
This is over time.
Then
gonna
I
be a bit
retract my statement. Let's do this. Come on. 15.
Okay.
Yeah, not bad.
You continue up this path for about an hour and a half. There are some twists and turns. Sometimes it switches back and goes higher. There are a couple of points where you get splits, and some kind of again go over to like the other side of the peaks where you had kind of crossed over from the watering hole. But you continue following it, and you don't get. There's not a definite sort of like, oh, there's a print. But you do get hints of like disturbed ground here or claw marks against rock that have not been completely washed away or eroded by the rain yet. It's hard to see and to find things, but you feel like you're at least going in the right direction. You're just not sure
Okay.
what you're going to find. But
Okay.
you make some progress, and you don't think you're completely lost or completely in the wrong place.
Okay. Cool.
Cool.
And then just continue trudging along in said direction.
And I will say over that period of time, it doesn't seem like the storm is getting closer. It seems like it's kind of going from north to south. So one side of it is kind of hitting you, but where the
Mhm.
main sort of center of the storm is like over a little bit further over on like like one of the other peaks, sort of beside
Okay.
you that's kind of like higher. So it's kind of like you're getting hit by like a side of the storm as it passes.
Okay.
And you're
Okay.
going in the direction that it's kind of flowing in.
Okay, so we're like ahead of the storm.
But it's well, you're not really ahead of it, but you're
More
you're
adjacent.
you're like parallel to it. It's probably
okay.
it's probably gonna pass you faster than you move. So you won't get ahead of it, but you'll probably be in it a bit longer because you are going in the same direction. Whereas if you had been like traveling north, you probably would have found your way out of it. But also, the mountains where you had initially entered only go so far north before they like trail off and end. So,
Got it.
so it's just kind of one of those things where it's like an unfortunate situation, but you know that you're not going to. It shouldn't be any worse than it currently is what I'll say.
Right.
So
Cool.
that was the first check. What does anyone else want to do?
I want to do something. I don't know if this will count, but I guess it's kind of separate. I want to be doing what Quinn was talking about, like looking for, just in case we don't have any hits, just looking for some place that might hold up if we need to, because we're going along with the storm. It might be in it for a little bit longer. Place that we could hold up.
Okay, so you're looking for like caves or alcoves or things like that.
Plant outcropping, something.
I mean, hey, caves might have stuff in it too. So
like like landmarks or anything. Yeah, sure. Go
Right.
ahead and
that's
make
what I was gonna do.
go ahead and make a perception check.
Okay.
Oh.
nice.
I was betting on that one because I was 0.
Yeah, it's
All
a
right.
50-50 shot on that with you. Yeah.
All right. You are continuing forward along this path, and while you don't see a great place to hole up, what you do notice, as sort of Perry, I guess, and Quinn are kind of leading the charge in the front, just ahead of them, as they're kind of like keeping an eye for tracks or signs of beast markings, you see before it happens just some rock and mud and begin to slide down, and you're able to rush up to them and pull them back as a rock slide and rock and muck like slide down the mountain right in front of them and trail off, and you watch as it just swipes off the side and just goes flying over, and as you like look out, it's maybe like 40 feet out before your vision, just like you can't see it anymore, and the rain and everything like that in your face, it makes it hard, but you thankfully prevented anyone in your party from finding themselves free falling off a mountain if they hadn't been able to be fast enough. So
Quinn would not have been fast enough.
Wait a
It's not his
moment
thing.
and keep an eye out and see that it is safe to cross and are able to sort of safely get across this area, keeping a lookout. You don't see any, what I will say with that perception, you don't see anything that like a creature that would have caused it. It seemed like it's just natural rock erosion and then the storm kind of leading to it eventually finding its way down this part of the mountain. And so it looks like it was just an all natural kind of event. So you don't see anything that's like following you or trying to harm you in any way at this point.
Right.
As
Cool.
you make your way a little bit further, another maybe hour or so, you guys are getting real soggy at this point. I will say, Perry, up ahead, you see sort of two paths that split.
Okay.
And it's very hard to see, but thankfully with your just your natural vision, you can see on the right-hand path that goes like further up, shape. Hard to make out, but it looks like a shadowed shape in the distance at sort of like the top of this path.
Is that I'm going to hold my hand up to stop everybody. Is that shadow moving?
At the moment, no, but it doesn't look like it's not the shape of a rock. Is what I'm
Right. Okay. Okay. Well, not sure what it is, but there's something up that way. I mean, it would take pretty strong magic, but I could perhaps summon a bird to go fly that direction.
I mean, I'm not wearing armor. I can try and move a little closer.
Are they?
Just above
Is the
us,
shadow
or is it-
roughly 150 feet away?
It's hard to gauge distance, but it'd
Right,
have to be
but
closer.
is
It'd
it,
have
like,
to be closer
elevated?
than that because it's heavily raining.
Okay. Is
Okay.
there any way we could gauge size, possibly, or?
No, it's hard. It's hard to see.
It's too hard to
Like,
see. We're gonna have to
Terry
get
I think
sees
so.
like a like she's lucky
Yeah.
enough that she sees this like shadow in the distance. That doesn't like it could be a part of the mountain. It could be something straight. Like it could be not necessarily a creature,
Mhm.
but it's
Right.
out of place. Like it doesn't look like a natural rock formation. Is what I will say. She's
Right.
just not sure what it is.
Okay.
I'm gonna take the pin out of my hair and just message in that direction at the shadow.
How
Jenna.
far back from me is Oriana? Because I wouldn't let her do that.
I don't know where's
I'm-
you're at the
I'm
front.
trying-
I don't think
Yeah, I'm
at the
Oriana's
front, so
You're,
she's-
you wouldn't see it
Oriana
'cause
was
you're
at the
looking
back,
forward.
yeah.
So you're
Oriana-
messaging, and what are you saying?
I'm messaging to Fennel, not the entity there. To Fennel
Where are you pointing your message?
at the thing, but I'm specifying the person who I'm trying to, and if
Yeah,
they're
but you have
in
to
that
message in that
direction,
direction.
yes. So I'm pointing at the creature
Okay.
using the spell to
Oh,
message.
in case
I'm
it's
not
him. I see.
targeting
Yeah.
that thing.
Oh,
I'm seeing.
But if it
Okay.
is him, he'll be able
But
to
if it is him, it
respond.
would
If
go-
it's
it would
not,
go
then
I
just
see.
go
I
through
see.
it.
That's clever.
Smart.
That's
And
really
and the
smart.
message goes to the specific person.
Yeah,
that you're
it goes to
targeting.
Yes.
this person.
If it's not
yeah.
Fennel,
If
then
they're
they
in
don't
that
hear the
direction.
message.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you get no response.
That is quite clever.
It's not smart. It's not Fennel, and I'll put the pin back in my hair.
All right.
That was clever. That was dead clever. Unfortunately,
I
I
mean,
didn't think it would be him, although really kind of wish it might have been.
if we want to talk to it, I can give it a go, or let someone else give it a try in literally any language they like.
We don't even know if it's able to talk. We don't even know what it is. It could be
You have
nothing.
to get closer.
Yeah, we're gonna
Yeah.
have to get closer.
Would you prefer me to try and get closer to the point where I'm not clanking around?
That might be smart. I could give you cat's grace, make you a little bit sneakier. Get you
Okay.
closer.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna reach over and pat Cinric and give him cat's grace.
Okay.
Cast enhance ability on him.
Okay. All right. You
Second
cast
slot.
advance ability
Uh-huh.
off the spell slot. And
Yep.
Cinric, you are going to stealth forward.
Yep.
All right. Go ahead and give me a stealth check with advantage.
As he's leaving, I just sort of pat him on the back. Many blessings upon you. Your
13.
guidance.
All right. Let me just.
Shit.
Tried to guide him.
You
Dang it.
weren't fast enough. I feel like he ducked right out from under your hands.
Yeah. So
Probably.
Don't touch me.
So as you move forward,
Consent,
and you
please.
continue moving, it's hard for you. Like Harry pointed the direction for you, but your vision, you weren't
I should've
able
gone.
to like make it out. But you have the general direction. You know it's up this path. And as you get closer and closer, it's maybe 40 feet out. You see the edge of of this shape. And at first, you look and you're just like, rock? Before you hear, Hokto Niska, and a large shape, and then a second large shape forward, and you see these giant creatures step
boy.
and stare at you. Each of them has this giant club in their hand and are wearing sort of tribal hide-ish armors. Doesn't look like anything you've ever seen, but they look at you and they've kind of got a like phalanx formation as they just speak at you in this language that you don't understand.
And we
would
see
like
they
to
down
maybe
below
run
they
as
back
maybe
to the
get
group.
they maybe get within 30 feet of you, like as you're like 40 feet from them, so they move up about 10 feet and they say that to you and point at you, and then that's all. And so you're saying you're booking it back to the group?
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna turn around and take a couple steps backwards, and then kind of turn around and start moving back.
And do we still
Start
all see this
moving.
from down below?
Pardon, you didn't see anything, Quinn?
Okay.
Perry, you noticed the shape come forward. You guys didn't hear this. It was too
Right.
far from you.
Okay.
But you do notice Sinric coming back, and you do see, Perry, on your vision, that shape, those shapes. As you're moving away, Sinric, they're not rushing after you, but they are slowly moving forward towards where you're coming from.
And when we haven't seen this yet, but just so I have a mental picture. When you're saying giant, you're talking like 15, 20 feet, or giant like Sinric, who's
No, I'm talking like
She's talking giant.
I'm talking like 20, 25 feet.
Got it. Just
He's
making
being
sure.
literal in giant.
Just making sure. Just making sure.
Hey, that's a fair question.
Yeah. And as Sinric is like, you're just calmly getting back to your group. They're not, like I said, they're not rushing after you. They're just kind of like following your pace as you move down the path.
By the way, there's some giants behind me. They weren't keen to kill me, but maybe we should go that way.
Yeah, so as you get to the end of this path, now you notice, Perry, and the rest of you are starting to notice this about 50 feet out. These two massive forms of humanoid-esque creatures that have sort of grayish brown skin are extremely large, wearing this sort of hide-ish put together armor, holding these giant clubs as they walk forward, and they yell out at you in this strange language. Hoktu!
I just elbow Quinn. I just maybe do that thing on either me or Perry. Right about
I was actually about to. I just touched Paul team. I said, "You got an hour. You can talk to literally anyone. Go for it."
Okay,
I
so you
cast tongues.
Yeah. So as you hear this, Baltame, at first it makes no sense to you, but then you get the tail end of doing here. And then again, as they step up, and now they're about 30 feet from all of you, you hear again, "What is your purpose in our domain?"
Many apologies. We are just hunters, simple hunters, just trying to gather some food. We did not know we were interrupting your space here. As you see, there's a storm coming down. We're looking for shelter this day.
You will not find shelter here.
Understood. Again, we didn't mean to intrude on your territory, I assume.
Yes.
We will pass by if you will allow us.
Our home.
Understood.
You hunt.
Yeah, just we're travelers. We are trying to hunt for a small town.
You are small hunters. But
Yeah, comparatively, yeah.
you brave the dangers of the mountain. That is to be commended. What do you hunt?
Um, we're looking for little game to you, but big game to us. The mountain lions, these
I
bulls.
know what you speak of. I am not stupid.
I, I
A
wasn't
mountain
implying.
lion.
Right.
If you promise to head the other way, I can give you a bead on a den.
That would be quite helpful. Surely we will. If you have my word, we will leave immediately.
That is good. I do not like to crush small things.
Kind of you.
Baltaim
If you
cast
head-
diplomancy.
He points to the other path. If you head maybe 10 minutes down that path, you should come upon a den. Likely just a single beast. Should be able to get the drop on it quickly in this weather, as it won't be keen to leave its lair.
Thanks to you, and we'll be on our way, like I said. Thank you very much.
Do make sure you do not come back this way.
Indeed.
He just nods and he waves a hand to the other one, and they begin, like, again, similar to you, Sinric, they back up first a few steps and begin walking back up the path towards that perch where you had initially seen them.
Well, that
Nice.
went well.
This world needs a universal greeting.
Bob weep, grana weep, ninny bong.
Well, Baltaim,
Let's go before we start talking. Let's just head.
Yes,
all right. Well,
let's.
point me where we're going. He was pointing like we were.
Southward, the other path.
All right. And I'll start leading us down that way.
Okay. And I assume, Baltaim, you tell them the time and what you're
Right.
looking for and
Yeah,
everything like
about
that.
10 minutes.
Yeah,
All
takes you no time at all, and you are able to come upon this den. There are 6 of you, and it is one mountain lion, so I'm not going to play out you're more than able to take it down. So you manage to get inside. It is it is large enough for you to kind of take shelter in, but you're kind of hunkered together a little bit as you do. You have the beast in front of you, and go ahead and make the survival check to do what you need to do in order to get it prepared for gathering.
Okay.
And help her again if she needs like holding stuff and
Help will
getting
always be
stuff.
welcome.
So
Thank you very
with
much.
advantage, go ahead and make the survival to.
May I guide?
Well,
No need.
Never mind.
Natural
All right.
20 for 27.
I retract that.
All right. So you are able to get I'll say
All right.
it's a mountain lion. I'll say about 20 pounds of good meat.
Adding it to the bag of holding.
You're able to get the full pelt.
Nice.
You are able to get what I'll say 5 pints of blood. You are able to get I'll say the majority of the like the rib cage bone structure relatively intact without messing it up too much of the lion. And you were able to get the canine, all 4 of the canine teeth without an issue.
Nice.
Just trying to think. Oh, and also, Perry, you are also able to sketch out the shape of a mountain lion, which you will also now have.
Yay!
To be able
Cool.
to shape it.
I wanted to go on this trip just so I could get wild shapes, y'all. Not gonna lie.
Well, they don't have zoos here, so it's not very easy.
Okay, I'll write down that I can be a mountain lion in my notebook.
We never really asked if there was a zoo.
I don't
You
think
figure
there's
there'd be like flyers or something, or
don't think
the
there's a
Chamber
zoo
of
in
Commerce
Hatchboro.
would promote it if or anywhere.
As
that-
you, this takes you a couple of hours to really
Mhm.
meticulously go through and get as much as possible on this creature. And at this point, it's kind of later afternoon,
Mhm.
after all the travel that you've made. It looks like the rain is petering off. It's not fully ended, but you don't really hear the thunder as much anymore, just the gentle of the rain. It's dark outside. I'm not going to say like nighttime dark, but when a storm comes in and like all lights blocked out. It's dark, and you can tell that given that it's later in the afternoon with the sun kind of cresting lower in the sky, it's darker than it normally would be at this time in the day. Up to you guys if you still want to continue making more progress in the rain. The one thing I will say is you've been traveling out in the rain. You're also quite high in the mountain. It's getting quite cold.
Yeah, I was gonna
You
say.
haven't exactly, you've all been wearing desert clothing as you were in the hot heat.
Mhm.
And you are soaked. There is the potential that if you continue to travel in the rain, in the cold, without being able to dry yourselves, the potential to start to get sick and exhausted.
Okay.
Mhm.
So up to you on what you want to do, but you can
Oriana
continue
would've-
for a few more hours if you'd like.
Oriana would have been at the entrance of the cave while all the dissecting was going on.
Okay, yeah. You're just keeping an eye out to see if anything comes by. Nothing seems to be moving. As you just generally look around, it seems pretty quiet. You figure storms of this nature, most of the creatures in this vicinity generally don't venture out, as it's treacherous paths and hard to see. And most things just want to stay warm and away from the rain. So it's unlikely that anything's going to come your way unless it's something like you guys looking for a place to stay. But given how long the storm has been going on, that would be strange to see. You would think that most things would have already found cover.
Okay. Is the cave big enough that the dome could exist within, or no?
No, you won't be able to fit the dome in here.
Okay.
But we
That's
can like
fine.
sit like hunker down. Though,
Yeah,
you know?
it's big enough for you guys to kind of like rest in.
Rest, yeah.
Okay.
Like not super comfortably. You won't be able to like fully lay out, but you'll kind of be able to like lean back and find like enough of a rest. It won't be the best one you've ever had. But you could gather that you could comfortably deal with going the evening here. It's just not going to be like, the most fun. Especially if you also like, what I would assume is after you're done with the majority of the carcass, you could like toss it over the side of the mountain. So that you free up some room. That would give you some extra room inside.
Yeah,
So
I would definitely
actually,
do that.
I would
Wash
say
my
like
hands in the
probably
rain.
like lying like parallel to one another in like a way, you might be able to all like lie down, but the dome won't be able to kind of like fit in there as it would hit the walls.
We'd also only need 4 people sleeping at a time.
Exactly, yeah. You'd
Yeah,
have a
That's
couple parts
true.
to watch.
True enough. I think we'll be fine. Honestly, I think we should stay here and dry out.
I'm fine with that, and I'll just
And you have enough room.
clank.
I don't know if you have any firewood. I can't remember if you guys do or not. But you do have enough room in the middle of this little, like, if you're all sitting before you're ready to like lie down for the night, to create a small fire to help you dry off or give you some source of heat if you want to do that.
I don't
We
think we
had
have
some
any.
at some point.
Yeah, I
That
remember
was
you
on the
did. I just
cart.
don't. Yeah, I think you left
I
it.
think
all
it- I
behind.
think
You
it was-
never gathered.
It was
more.
originally
Yeah.
on the original card.
I'm just
yeah.
putting
Yep.
it because I couldn't remember and you had
Right.
that option.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
I'm
we
not
don't.
sure if anyone has the ability to like create
Um,
wood or something like that,
Well,
or if
let's
there's
see, hold
anything
on.
you have that you could use as.
Create.
I have some common clothes.
Well, I have torches. Like I have 10 torches.
That's not gonna.
Yeah,
Well,
and I
you could
didn't-
if you
Actually,
use the
wood
10
from
torches.
the wood from the torches.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you could
Yeah,
break
we could do that.
the tops off or
don't
whatever, or
fucking need a
take
torch.
off the wrappings and just use the wood.
I have a
Those you
shield.
want.
I mean, I also have some torches that we could use for that too.
Yeah. Well,
so
I mean, I figure
like,
10
we
ought
have
to be
some
enough to
spare.
get a campfire going.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
got
what I'm
a
saying.
shield also, so that would
Is your
help. We could
shield
probably-
wooden or is it metal?
I assumed it was wooden. I mean, it was just like a standard shield I bought at a shop.
Well,
yeah,
I
I would
mean-
assume it was metal because it's
Yeah.
Mine
shield.
might be wooden because I have a shield that I never use, and I'm assuming mine would be wooden because I'm a druid.
Up to you. You can have something metal, but if you would rather have wood, you're welcome to.
I mean, I don't think we need to burn a shield though. I think that if
Yeah, I have 10 torches.
Yeah,
Several
I
of
would
us
say
have
10
some-
torches will give you a decent enough small fire for this area. So
Yeah.
Just to
Okay.
dry off, I would say.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Okay, so yeah,
Yeah.
so you unwrap sort of the cloth wrappings that they have on the top to help the torch catch, and lay out the wood in like a lattice structure so that it will burn, and you guys like do your best to like dry it off, and I guess use your tinderbox or whatnot to.
Yeah.
I'll just
fire.
druid craft a flame. I can
Oh, okay, yeah.
make a
So
small
you druid
bit, yeah.
craft the small
Yeah, I
fire in the
just-
center, and
Here we go.
you hold it for a bit, like with your magic, to get it starting. It takes a moment because the wood is a little wet from sitting in
Yeah.
Boltane's pack. But eventually it does light. It's a bit smoky at first. Thankfully, you have an opening and it like trails out the edge of the cave, and you guys have to like fan it a little bit. As you know, wet wood kind of gives off
Yeah,
this, like,
that's
acrid
gross.
black smoke. So you guys like fan it out a little bit, but eventually it clears, and you have a warm fire where you guys are able to kind of like, some of you take off your armor and dry out your
Mhm.
underclothes and things like that, and have a bit more comfort as the evening begins to make its way in the horizon. Does anyone wish to do anything before the evening takes hold?
I
Um,
actually.
Yeah, I just want to like get my armor off and basically just set it right
Fine.
next to the fire, close enough that it's not going to, have little wooden bits up in there catch, but so it's basically getting all toasty and dry.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
the-
You figure like in this space and with this fire, you don't have to have it too close so that the metal's going to be like super hot and you won't be able to pull it away.
Yeah.
But if you leave it like just to the side, you should be able to get it, fairly dry enough.
Okay, yeah. So I would just be
Cool.
like positioning that over there to make sure that
Okay.
it's all set.
Oriana's still staying closer to like the entrance, and
Okay, you're staying close to the entrance, but far enough so that the water doesn't smack into you.
yeah, I'm not like standing in the rain, but like
Yeah.
just
Yeah, how
How
emo
very
do you want to
emo
be
of you.
right now?
I was gonna say.
No, but yeah,
This is why
you're,
we're here.
Fair enough.
you're just out of the range, keeping more of an eye on the outside of the cave, just to make sure that.
to clarify, outside of the message and telling everybody that wasn't fennel, Oriana has not said a word
Yeah,
all
yeah.
day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've caught that. It's just been a busy day so far.
No, I know. I'm just saying.
Altane's actually gonna go, actually kind of like not next to her, but like kind of sit there too, as he's just kind of like looking out at the rain too.
Okay,
She also
so you're like
has-
you're
she
like
also has
across.
him right off.
Yeah, you're like across from her.
Yeah,
I assume you've
I've-
taken off your armor
Yeah, I've taken
to.
off like my armor and like I've taken like basically my shirt and stuff.
yeah,
and, like,
yeah, just to
and my
bring it
extra
out
clothes
and get
yeah,
it
to
dry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have helped if anyone else is trying to draw armor and such. I would have like helped position because once I
Yeah, I'll
figured
say like you guys also
zone of
have
armor
like
drying.
you have like climbers kits. I'll say like
Yeah,
with the
I
rope
made a
and
clothesline.
two
Oh
pythons.
hell
You can
yeah,
make
we're
like
making
a
a clothesline above
and
the fire.
and have everything like dry out. You can do a couple of them if you want to have
Yeah,
people's
Perry's
stuff
done
dry
all
out.
of that to make sure like everybody's stuff gets dry because she knows better than to get out in the rain in your armor.
So
Yeah.
so you've got that going.
Alternative just be like just look over because he's just looking out, but he's like, you good?
No.
Talk about it. However,
Not sure talking about it will be helpful.
I would say whatever it is, not that I know, but there's nothing you can't change yourself personally by trying to attempt to.
It's not something about myself I'm worried about. It's something I don't know, been missing. Been failing, I suppose. I'm I've been trying to Ayun, at least I've been trying. And last night when I thought I saw her in my dreams, she was someone else. Or rather, they were pretending to be her. And he said some things to me that I know are true. So I do not wish that they were. And I can't help but think I've been just failing at everything.
I don't pretend to know what's going on fully, but I know I've failed many a times. I think failure is probably our biggest success in life. You can't really know you've done something good until you've failed. You can't know what your peak, your potential could be unless you have hit rock bottom. So there's always something good in failing. Failing's never something to be disappointed in. If you don't improve or do something about that failure, that's what's truly to be disappointed in.
But how do I start to fix the problem if the problem is me?
That is a tough cookie. I won't lie to you. I don't I don't pretend to know all the answers and stuff. Well, but I assume this little baby steps help along the way.
Just just don't know. I've been looking for a guide. What would you do, Baltaim, if someone offered you exactly what you were looking for?
I take that offering, no hesitation, and deal with the consequences later.
Even if you weren't sure?
100%.
What if the person who was offering you this was speaking highly of the flaws that you carry?
Are they true to their word? Will this what they give me help me what I want to achieve?
I don't know. I honestly don't. They offered me a chance for them to be my guide, my leader, so to speak. But I've
Um,
always had. There's always been someone that I listen to, that I obey, that I follow, that I act on their will without considering. It's so natural for me.
I understand that.
My family, my country, my mentor, all of you, the man in the marketplace. Someone gives me a goal, a task, and I complete it without questioning. He's giving me what I've been looking for. But at the same vein, he pokes fun at this flaw of not finding my own path. And he impersonates someone I idolize. Someone who I want to be worthy of. I don't know what to do.
Let me I think I told you before in the sewer that I'm originally from a trail as well, um, but I'm from a small mining city up on the northern border. Um, uh, I'm not too sure, but me and my sister had become orphaned. Um, and I was a real asshole of a kid uh, in my younger years. Uh, just a wild child, I would say. But my sister really um, was able to. I don't know. She's quite a presence. Just a person you would walk the hills and back for. Really uh, made me who I am today. I feel, or at least part of who I am today. And right now I'm kind of lost too in a certain sense. I'm just going off of gut instincts and whatever comes first in my mind that seems right. Uh,
Traits we all share.
there was something or someone that I knew that could give me the ability to save her. I'll take that 100 out of 100 times, no matter what. My soul be damned, my body be broken, battered. That's a future consequence I'm going to take. if you're sure, can trust whatever this person's buying or selling, at least for me, I would take it if my cause is true. But I guess that is one of my flaws. I am a bit impulsive, so I understand. Maybe not listen to your inner demons is not the best choice at all times. But I know for me, I'd rather face those demons than be powerless.
Your choice of words there is quite ironic.
Which one?
Oriana will just start fiddling with her horn.
Okay.
You make some valid points. I don't know if I've changed my mind or settled on anything, but thank you for talking to me. What a group we make.
Again.
What a group we make. The soldier far from home. The village. Lovable buffoon, I'm sure. Who's lost his village. The girl searching for the cure. The man looking for his sister. The scientist without a lab. And the girl who ran away.
Look. I kind of just pat her on the back and get up.
Right.
When I'd be interested in reading one day, maybe.
Perhaps I should start writing. Noriana's going to use prestidigitation to dry off her clothes.
Okay. You dry yourself. And sit there, still staring out into the quieting rain as it begins to slow as the evening sets in. Campion,
Yes.
I need you to make a Constitution save for me.
Cool beans.
Did you eat?
Oh yeah, it's a nat 20.
Good. Does anyone else want to do anything?
Yeah, I would want to, if there's any place I can find just, room to sit down.
There's lots of places to sit down, but there's not really a place to be by yourself.
Okay. Good enough. Just,
Yeah, Ori's got dibs.
well, someplace where I can sit down and not be obtrusive is the thing.
Yeah, you're not.
I know
Everyone
there's room
kind
to
of
sit down,
has-
but like out of people's way.
Yeah, like you're not literally pushed up against each other and holding yourselves like this.
Yeah.
You have a bit of room between one another. It's just not
Right.
not a ton.
No. I just mean like towards the back somewhere where there's not, because I know
Yeah,
there's
you can
a
go
space
towards
where
like the
traffic
back
is going to
corner
be
and
going.
have like a little bit of space between you and the fire and other people's belongings and stuff like that.
Yeah, good enough. Yeah, Quinn would just sort of sit down and just try to do the same thing he's doing every night to try and make a habit of it. Just quickly pray to Melora, thank you for the bounty that they were able, they were able to find the animal and, take it with no problems on their end and that no one was hurt and everything. And then just also to Bane, just a general prayer of
What's up, bruh?
Yeah, kind of almost. You're not far off. You're not far off.
How's it doing,
Just
dog?
like, do what?
Say, yo, how's it doing, dog?
Sup, brah? But just more like, thank you for the continued understanding, sort of thing. Just
Okay.
longer than that, but basically
Yeah.
that's
You
the
take
gist
your
of it.
moments to give your thanks to both of them,
Yeah.
and spend a good portion of time.
Okay.
Saying your prayers in your head and
Yeah. Then I'd also try and do
giving
the
your offering of
meditative.
yourself.
Yeah. Then I'd also try to meditate poorly.
Okay. Attempt to meditate. Make a.
I'm gonna roll for this now. All right. Do I roll to see how poorly I meditate? I'm for this mechanic. I'm saying it.
Make a wisdom save, I guess.
Okay.
A general wisdom check, because this isn't a save. You're not saving.
Okay.
against anything. Just
Yeah,
general
yeah.
wisdom.
Save against fidgetiness.
Save against my own impatient bullshit. Okay. Yeah. Let's
So
do
just
it.
a general wisdom.
Yeah. All right. 5.
Yes.
Natural 1 for 5.
You
This is the perfect, best natural 1 I have ever rolled.
you try to quiet your mind, and you remember the previous night, the things that Perry told you.
Mm-hmm.
You just are like, I got it. Like I understand. This is what I gotta do. And you sit down, and you sit there for a few seconds, and then just like in your head, you're like, "Fuck, my butt's itchy. Nope, can't scratch.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, there's something tickling my neck. Oh, uncomfortable.
Can I leave
It's
a
so hot in
stove
here.
on? No, stoves haven't been
Yeah,
invented.
The fire's so hot. Oh, I can't. And then you're just like fidgeting, and like after about 30 seconds, you're like, it has to be 5 minutes. I did good. And you just
Yeah.
you get back.
That's
Yeah.
so real.
You scratch yourself, you like
Uh-huh.
rub your neck, and you're just like, ugh. And then you like, pull at your shirt or whatever, and
Mhm.
and you feel accomplished.
I gotta tell you, I have never been happier to roll a complete failure before in all the times I played in D&D. I want to put that out there. Never before have been more pleased to fail than just now.
You believe you're making progress.
Yay,
Yeah.
me!
It's been like hours, I
Yeah.
swear.
It must be
Um,
morning by now. Oh God!
Perry, you see the attempt. Worse
I
than
feel
the previous evening.
I feel as though my heart is about to be blessed.
Yeah, Perry
but-
literally just bless his heart.
Yeah.
No, not tonight.
Yeah.
I need
but-
my own meditation tonight.
Anyone up to anything else?
Right before bed, I would like to cast Ascending, but I'll let everybody else do their stuff first.
Anyone else?
Is it still raining?
It is. You don't hear the thunder rolling anymore.
I'm just gonna
And you
try and
see
find a
the rain
spot
is
to like
gentle.
fill up the canteen I have with some water.
Okay, yeah, you manage to squeeze yourself sort of by Baltaim and just hold your canteen out to gather some fresh rainwater. Only takes, I'll say you could have done that in the earlier portion, so only takes like a few minutes, and you're able to fill it up.
Only thing is, after my several hours, clearly that I did of meditation, so
Mhm.
time is just weird for me right now. I want to talk to Baltaim real quick.
Okay. You see him over by. Sorry, before you do though, Sinric, is there anything else you're doing? Because that would only take you.
Yeah, I mean that's really all I got right now.
Okay, so you're just resting. Okay, so yeah, you see Baltaim finish a conversation with or it looks like he had one with Orion, and he's kind of like just sitting there drying off and preparing himself for the evening.
Cool.
You come over and kind of sit down beside him.
Hey. I want to say thanks for making sure I didn't go flying off a mountain, because that would have been
Right.
terrible.
Yeah, I assume no one wants their day be ruined by a mudslide. So yeah.
Yeah, I know that would have been the worst, and I want to make sure that there's real gratitude for that, because I don't think I would have done well. I would have been quite the projectile.
Well, Well, I recall y'all saving me from falling off to my same doom in a previous mountain. So let's
So I
just
get
say
are
we
you
even.
trying to say we're even now.
Yeah, we even.
We're even at mountain saves.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right. All right. Well, we need to fucking stop doing this thing because otherwise it's going to throw everything out of balance again.
I have a strong feeling that we have more perils in our future.
Right, but mountains specifically though, like right now we're even on mountain near death
Right,
experiences,
right,
so we should keep the even keel we've got now. I think
right. We'll,
that'd be best.
right.
Maintain
We'll
balance in the
put that in the
relationship.
universe. And hopefully they'll remember that.
Yeah, there you go. But that was I just want to make sure that I thank you for that because that would have been god awful.
Yeah, yeah. But I don't need thanks for it. Y'all would have done the same for me, in all honesty.
That's true. But still, just because it's something we would have done anyway doesn't mean that, gratitude isn't important.
Right.
Because you've done a lot, like everybody has, but still, a lot of things have been done and have gone, not been unnoticed, but that have been, how best to say it, not taken for granted, but almost.
Right.
And I don't know. I'm trying to be less of an ass.
Oh, okay. Got it. Well, thank you. I'm not used to this, Quinn. I assume. Uh,
I'm not fucking used to this either, all right?
for all it's worth, you seem like you're in a better mood.
Yeah? Yeah, I'm doing all right. I'm just, had a bit of an eye-opening experience is all. And trying to make after that what I can.
That sounds very wise.
Yeah. It's giving me cause to reflect and figure out changes need to be made. That sort of thing.
All right.
But anyway. With me being relatively wise, would I have gotten anything off of like the vibe coming off the conversation that was just had, or not at all?
I mean, Beltane, were you hiding anything? And
No, I mean, I wasn't talking like loudly, but I assume I wasn't like hiding, like I wasn't like whispering to her either. I was just like talking to her.
No, I just mean like a general like emotional vibe, because otherwise
Right.
I think I'm.
do you mean do you mean the conversation you were having with Baltaim or the one that
No,
he
the
was
conversation
having
that I like walked up
With
on at the
Oriana.
end of.
Oh,
I was just
I would
talking to her
say
'cause-
passive insight, like
Yeah.
body language. Oriana's just been a little bit more closed off.
Right.
I
And
mean,
he
she's
doesn't even know
normally
the
more
full
chatty
details.
Kathy than she has been. I'm not saying
Well,
like
she's normally the chattiest of Kathy's.
she's normally very opinionated about like a lot of the things that you guys are doing and stuff, and she's been quite quiet.
These are all accurate statements.
So you've definitely noticed that.
Okay.
But it just looks like she was having a general conversation with Baltaim back
Okay.
and forth. I wouldn't
Right.
say you got any specific vibe off of it.
That's good enough. That's about all I was really looking for. Then before I go after like just looking at it. So is she all right? She said. Usually
yeah.
I'm the one that shuts up all day for some sort of reason. Not seeing that out of her. Honestly, I didn't know she was capable of being this quiet for this long.
Yes.
Jay is being
Yeah.
asked for something.
I don't know the details, but she was I guess had something eyes open as well to her. She's said she's had a bit of trouble recently, so not sure what it was, but she didn't seem like she wanted to talk fully about it. But I think she's doing better.
All right. I figured I'd check since I've never seen her go that long without speaking before,
Right.
and
Yeah. I thought it was a little bit odd, so I just,
it yeah, it's a bit unsettling.
Yeah.
All right, then I'll just go and make sure the stuff is dry and everything's
You start to get things
basically
ready
set for
your
the
day.
evening.
When,
All right. Anyone else?
Oh, hold on.
I'll just say, Quinn, don't get too wise on me though. I have very little people I can do random dumb things and random dumb acts still. So
I don't think anything's ever going to stop you from doing random dumb
I'm just
things.
saying, just
I wouldn't worry too much. The stories I could tell. Yeah, yeah. Don't worry about that too much. I think we'll still be able to maintain that.
just I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I miss Dobby a little bit more. Sometimes.
Yeah, it's true. He was your idiocy wingman, and I miss him somewhat as well. It's difficult to. I mean,
I know. You don't have to say it.
he was annoying, but he was best way I think to put it. I remember there's this person back home. They I mean, you think I'm a bit of a bastard. This person was just leaps and bounds beyond. And I remember once some folk were, just standing around talking about, just saying terrible things like what an ass he is, just again and again. And then I saw someone come up and try to say that, try to just jump in on the conversation, like, yeah, fuck that guy. And they just jumped to his defense immediately, like, hey, you don't fucking say that. And like just getting really aggressive. And then he's, what? You just call him an asshole. And they just all say to him, yeah, he's an asshole, but he's our asshole. So I feel that a way about Dobby. Yeah, he was a bastard and he was an asshole, but he was our asshole.
Yeah.
And
I understand that feeling.
He was someone who deserved better than he got.
For sure. That's for sure.
And I'll just go and
You guys
get things all
get
set.
your things ready. Anyone else?
I would have waited a few minutes to see if Oriana was going to come to the fire and warm up. And if she didn't, I would grab a blanket and go and take it and put it around her shoulders.
Okay, yeah, you notice that she casts the spell.
Yeah.
You see her clothes dry.
Right.
And you make
But
the
it's still a
assumption
cold and wet night.
Yeah. You make the assumption that she's likely not moving closer at this time.
Mhm.
She's still kind of staring out into sort of the darkening night.
Mhm.
As the clouds begin to break slightly over the moon, and you see a bit of light peeking through.
Thank you, Perry.
You can't sit out here in the cold all night.
I'll come in when it's time. Just, I need to process things.
You know, when I gave you a ration of shit about talking a bunch and talking in circles, I didn't mean for you not to say anything ever again.
It's not that. It's something else. I just need to think. I think best when I'm not blathering on about things.
Well, that makes sense. You know, I'm kind of impressed. Most people who've never seen something get field stripped puke the first time, and you didn't. Both times.
It was close.
You're tougher than you think you are. And you're smarter than you think you are. And I don't mean book smart. Because you're pretty damn book smart.
Well, I have read every book in the Atreian library.
That somehow doesn't surprise me at all. And you really should have gotten outside more.
Climb a tree, damn it! Just one.
All I'm saying is you get a lot from books, but sometimes you got to think for yourself. You got to figure it out yourself. And don't let anybody tell you what to do. Be your own person.
Ironic that you use that words.
Use which words?
Be your own person. It's just something I'm thinking about.
I mean, this is one of those things where I really don't think you should think about being your own person. I think you should just do it.
No. It's a turn of phrase. It's on my mind. It's part of the thing I am thinking about.
I see. All I'm saying is, you don't need someone to tell you what to do. A lot of times you know the right answer. You were right when you said we shouldn't trust Bane. I mean, we didn't know it was Bane at the time, but we do now. You were right, but you didn't stick to your guns, and you got frustrated and you gave up. But you were right. And I know I gave you some shit about the told you so's. But you were right. And I want you to know that I know you were right. And I want you to know that a lot of times you are right. You just say the right thing in a way that makes people mad, and they don't want to listen. My brother's like that. He's the smartest one in the village, but he's a jerk about it. Nobody wants to listen to him. But you're smarter about things than you give yourself credit for. And you shouldn't just sit around and take orders. You don't need a leader or a guide. You need you. And of course your friends, but that's another story. Just promise me you'll come in out of the cold. Don't sit out here and get all chilled and sick. I'm not becoming a big creature just to carry you around because you got a cold. I squeeze her shoulder. I'll let you think. If you need me, I'll be by the fire, where the rest of us smart people are trying to be warm.
And she squeezes my shoulder. I'll just hug her real quick.
Okay. Give her a hug.
Thank you.
You're going to be all right. And I'll just go back to the fire and do my own nightly meditation, which goes much better, and then get ready for bed.
All right. Anyone else?
Campion's good. He's just sketching in his notebook.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and fire off my sending them.
Campion's trying to figure out that.
I will say, Campion, given the rain and everything like that, you're probably using a bit of that oil that you purchased to, liven up the joints of Greybone there.
Yeah. He
doesn't,
was spinning the first time, like taking off his armor, wiping down Greybone piece by piece. Then he was wiping down his own armor, and he's just like, you can't really go to sleep right now. He had that really fucked up dream, and he's just writing.
Yeah.
When it starts to get a little bit dark, I do want to go out and see if the stars are there and just kind of spend some time outside.
Okay.
When it starts to get dark, though.
It gets dark. At this point, it's dark. You don't see a ton of stars. You do see a break in the clouds where the moon is. The rain has mostly petered off, but there are still, very there's still a very light sort of spitting rain at the tail end of the storm as it's passing. But you do see the break in the clouds where the moon is. You see a couple of stars, but the rest of the sky is still relatively cloudy as the storm is still passing.
Okay. Well, if I don't see what I'm looking for, I'm just gonna go back in.
Okay. Yeah. Unfortunately, you're not sure. You might have to wait, a good portion of the night for the sky to really clear. Oriana, you wanted to send.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and fire off ascending.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie, would you be able to meet us in Isel in a few weeks' time? I want to learn more about the trip.
You get back. This is Oriana. Yes. You do know that the God of Eternal Darkness is trying to break free from his shackles. Yes?
I kind of figured this. I just, I figured I'd try
Trill
this.
is a small part of the bigger picture, but why don't we have that conversation when we all live through the rest? And that's what you get.
Debating whether or not to say yeah, sounds good.
It's up to you. You can.
It was being
Yeah.
very polite.
I'm like thinking like with sending, would a lack of response be like, yeah, that sounds like a plan, essentially.
You don't know. She didn't really end it with a question.
Yeah.
But up to you. You're welcome to send her again if you would like.
I think Oriana's instinct would be to send a follow up,
Okay.
and she's gonna actively be going like, and she's not going to follow up.
Okay. All right. So you all begin to make yourselves as comfortable as you can as the fire begins to taper off and go out. The heat is still staying relatively comforting in the area of the cavern, but it'll probably get colder as the night goes on and that sort of wanes. Who is taking first watch?
Camping, you can take first watch. It's a great bone.
Okay. All right. So go ahead and make a perception check.
Gotcha.
I feel like this is less him taking first watch and more him just not going to bed yet because he's still polishing literally everything he owns to a mirror finish.
Okay.
Damn it, it's still wet!
Can I, since I'm doing it with Greybone, can I give Greybone the advantage or no?
Sure.
Okay. So perception with advantage. Yeah, that's a 23.
Nice.
Relatively quiet. Few hours after sort of the fire dies down, it begins to get a bit cooler. Thankfully, most of you are dry at this point, and it's just a general chill. You guys are using like your bed rolls on top of yourselves to keep yourselves as warm as possible. But yeah, your watch goes by relatively uneventfully. Who's next?
I'll do the last watch.
Yeah, Perry was planning on taking last watch too.
Okay.
I'll take.
Okay,
second
well I'll do
watch
this
then.
one then.
I'll be on
Okay.
second.
Okay. So perception check, please.
Who's doing that?
What's on third?
You know what?
I don't know. Third base!
I will inspire Quinn.
Okay.
Cool, man.
Have one ready.
Hmm?
I'm just looking to see if I have something for Quinn. Not one that works in this situation.
Okay.
So you're like, you perceive the shit out of stuff. Cool. And what is your inspiration? I never remember.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you at least going to say something to him to give him the inspiration? It doesn't have to be a limerick, but
Fine.
Be inspiring, damn it.
Be a bard, you lazy butt.
yeah, I mean, if you want to give him inspiration,
Alright,
you got to
alright.
do something.
I got one.
It doesn't have to be a song. It can be.
Quinn, what do your half-elf eyes see?
Wow.
Okay.
That's
You are
negative.
lame.
You have
that's
negative
D8,
inspiration.
Let me just
So
put
it's going to be minus a
disadvantage
D8.
toggle here.
Yeah. Okay, no, but you have advantage anyways because Oriana's helping you. So
Yeah, I take this all begrudgingly now. All right, there we go. So first that's a 16, and then let me roll that D8 for the
you do it.
finger quote inspiration and finger quote.
All right,
5.
so 21.
Yay, math.
All right. So again, quiet, getting a bit colder. You guys kind of like wrap yourselves up in whatever you can to keep warm. You do hear a few various things that sound like skittering. You do hear a few various rocks. But keep an eye out. Nothing seems to pass across your range of vision. And your watch goes by relatively uneventfully.
Cool.
Third?
Before we wrap up,
Oh, yeah, sure.
and going to just sort of probably about halfway through, because he's bad at stuff like people. Just sort of looking around like, so you've like shut up most of the day. That's unusual.
So shit at people.
Negative charisma. All right.
Yeah.
This is how I'm interpreting it.
Like
Yeah.
me in real life.
Like me in real life. Shit.
Yes.
I only
that was,
act charming on the internet.
That was somewhat intentional. I was thinking about things and trying to process.
Right.
And I wasn't getting anywhere in my own head, so I was talking to Baltaim about it.
All right. So, you good? Or what's the deal?
Not yet, I think. I'm still trying to work everything out.
All right. All right. Well, I'm not going to pry. But, you know, if there's shit that's bothering you that much, we are kind of, you know, out here together, so.
I'll make you a deal. Tell me about the new symbols there. I'll share.
It is complicated, but it's essentially shit, how would Quinn explain this? I have not thought about this at all. It's kind of like, I think the best way to say it would be probation. I have been a bit of a bastard for over 20 some years, and that did not change much after, you know, reach up for the holy symbol recent events. So I am trying to improve, and I'm being given a chance to make that attempt.
It's whole trying to sit still without moving around much part of that, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I'm trying that meditation thing that Perry does, and I'm not good at it. I don't think. Thought I nailed it earlier, but in retrospect, I realized that what I thought was actually about 6 hours was more like 5 seconds. So,
It's just like any skill, I would imagine. It takes time and practice.
right. Right, I'm supposed to try and learn patience. I feel as though it's some sort of punishment, but that's about all. That's about all I'm trying to do. Really, is figure out how to be a bit less of an impulsive idiot. Which again, quite difficult after doing basically that for the majority of my life.
If improving oneself was supposed to be easy, then would we not all be perfect beings?
Fair point. Either way, your turn.
I have been trying to pray to Ayun pretty much ever since Avonhurst, but a little more fervently as of some more recent events. And I thought maybe last night I had finally gotten through to her, in a way, I guess you could say. I don't know. I don't understand prayer.
Yeah, that's two of us.
I've mostly just been using my magic to try to talk to her. I don't know if it works, if she even hears it, but it's what I understand.
I mean, that basically sounds about like prayer. You don't know if they hear it, but the idea is you try. That's about my understanding. But, again, not the best at it personally either.
I mean, I figure if it can work across the planet, maybe. I don't know. It's what I can do, so it's what I've been doing. But as it turned out, it was not her. It was someone else I was speaking to.
Who?
Or he just points at her horns.
Who? You point at horn, that doesn't really do anything. Who?
They looked a lot like me in a way. They had the horns, but they were more, godlike. Does Oriana know who Asmodeus is?
At this point, does Quinn know what she's trying to say?
Yeah, that's what
I would say that.
Because she's never really studied religion.
No,
but
that's
she
what I'm
is
saying.
book smart.
I would say that you know that there are creators and destroyers. You know Ayun because you've one met her,
Mhm.
and two were in the city of the creators, so to speak, and were around all the temples and had heard of those gods. You've never really been focused on the gods' history. Like you've focused on history in general of your nation and of what has happened in some parts of the world, although not all. But the gods were never really in your mindset of what was important until really recently. So I would say you get the idea it's one of the gods.
But I don't know a name. I can't put a name to the face.
You would, I think you would know it would be, no, I would say given your nature, you would know who it is. You would know who it is. Quinn would not. So you pointing to your horns does not mean that Quinn understands.
Yeah, Quinn's just like...
I would say you would know because you would know that your lineage is Mephistopheles. You would know Mephistopheles came from, like, the nine hells were created and designed by Asmodeus, the king of the hells and the lord of them. And so of anyone, given that he was saying he was your like great grandfather,
yeah,
likely it's Asmodeus.
Yeah,
Quinn would not.
Like...
This is like his first. Like he didn't even really understand who Melora was when.
Nope.
Yeah.
He didn't know who Bane was. Actually, the rest of you actually don't even know that it's Bane. Like none of you know who he is. So unless Quinn specifically says something to you about it, but you do know, you would know the Hells, because you would have researched your own lineage and like
Okay.
where tieflings come from and stuff like that, because that would have been something interesting to Oriana that she would want to know about. So I will say
23andMe.
that you do have an inkling.
If she points at her horns, everybody's like, "You got another tiefling?"
Are we doing charades? Sounds like
So Quinn, you
horny.
get the idea that she's talking about a tiefling of some sort.
It's
maybe?
as
Godly
Asmodeus.
tiefling?
Asmodeus, I think. One of the destroyers. He lives in the Nine Hills, I think.
That sounds less than optimal. Like, as far as the answers you were or people are looking to talk to, that sounds like the opposite of what you were trying for.
I mean, the strange thing is, aside from the fact that he tried to pretend to be Ayun, oddly enough, he said she was his aunt.
That does not surprise me as much as you'd think.
Anyway, I'm getting away from the point here. He, aside from that, he didn't really lie in any ways that I could perceive. He spoke harsh truths about me. He even made fun of me to some extent for the incident in the marketplace. But while somewhat mean-spirited, I didn't get the sense he was lying, especially when talking about me. There are things he's helped me realize are true about me.
Such as?
That I blindly follow those who I trust to be my leader, my family, my country, the person who taught me my magic, my master. Even to some extent, the man in the marketplace, just following his direction. And he tried to convince me that that's not a bad thing, and he could be my guide, my leader, And while in some way it seems like something I would want, at the same time it's him poking at a flaw and making fun of me for it. Or teasing me about it, at least. It just doesn't feel like that's the choice I should be making. But I talked to Botim about it, and he seemed to say to think that if he could offer me what I needed, then what's the problem with saying yes? Then Perry comes along and tells me I get stuck in my own head, and
yes, you do.
That's not on an argument on the table, but
no, I know it's not. It can't be. It's an undisputable fact. Please continue.
But she mentions that I am smart. I can make my own decisions. I'm my own person. And I don't know. It's I want to make something worthwhile. I want to find the truth, like Ayun told me. I want to be worthy of the creators and what they represent. But if Asmodeus can offer me the gifts I want, why shouldn't I?
Because nothing's really free. Everything has cost. Everything. You can't give without an act of sacrifice, and you can't take either without that same thing from something else. All things have a cost. What that is, you may not know right away. You may not ever really figure it out. You may not know until it's too late to figure it out. the point is, that it's not something that you go into blind. When I was given this, just pat the symbol, this whole situation laid out before me, I was told that I could just give up on the path I've been on, basically, as far as trying to follow the wildlight, and go on as I've been doing, as I've been doing, under the auspices of someone else, and be basically given the power I needed to go where I need and do what I want. And that was it. There were no strings put on that, as far as I could tell. Nothing was pointed out as an actual cost, other than it costs what I'm trying to. It costs basically the person I'm trying to be. I've been trying to, at least a little, I've been trying to not be the same sort of impulsive shit that I've been forever. I've been trying to be someone who actually can finish a task he starts, someone who can actually go forward on a path and be someone who was actually worth being saved from drowning at sea. And by taking him up on his offer just straight away, right then and there, it basically just says, there's no need for me to grow. There's no need for me to change. I can just be who and what I am as I am, and I'm just fine that way. But I'm not, and I know I'm not. I know I need to be a different person than what I have been, because a smart man doesn't get on a boat that he does not know how to operate, go out into the ocean trying to find some place he's never been, and think, this is a great idea. I am clearly the smartest and best person ever for having this idea. Oh, the sky seems to be getting darker. Fuck it, I'll keep going in that direction. Oh no, there's a storm. Oh no, I'm bleeding out my side because the mast broke and stabbed me in it. Oh no, I'm drowning now. That would have been the end, probably. Except there was intervention. And I did not understand why, because as I have been, I am not the first person that you would put on a list of those who need saving or really deserve it. So to take that deal, it's more of a sacrifice of potential. That would be the cost of that. So you take what this person's offering. If that's what you want, you got to figure out, though, what's it cost? All things have a price. Are you willing to pay it, is the question. And really, you're the only one who can answer that question.
You know, you said that the meditation wasn't working, but I think it's doing you a lot.
I'm bad at it. I'm so bad at it. My brain gets itchy. I didn't think that could happen, but it does. It's like the inside of my skull starts to itch. And I scratch it by thinking about shit and getting up and moving around. And it's I feel as though I'm being tortured in some way. Like this is penance for past misdeeds. But
Well, it seems to be working for you.
I hope so, because otherwise I have no idea what the hell I'm doing.
There's a very wise man underneath all that armor. It's nice to see him.
Mm. I wouldn't read too much into it. I just happen to have literally been through something rather similar, so I have insight to offer at this time. Try me again tomorrow. Odds are not great. I'm hoping there's been improvement, but let's keep our expectations reasonable. Like you're here, way up. I need you down lower a bit.
So there's an old saying: "The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a step." And I think you are stepping.
Well,
I'm not as good as the wise thing as you are. That's not my area. Perry says I'm more than just book smart, but I'm mostly book smart.
I will not say anything to confirm or to dispute that. Go on.
Thank you for this, Gwen. I needed the time to myself, but I'm glad I opened up to you.
Yeah. Well, I said something about like this the other day. You are annoying, but you mean well.
I will take that as a compliment.
You feel free to do that. I don't know whether it was or not, but you'll figure out whatever this is. If you want to take whatever he's offering, take it or don't. But before you take anything, figure out what it would take from you to do that. And if you're comfortable with it, so be it.
Just look up at his armor. This is a spot not quite drying out, and I'll cast Prestidigitation to dry it out.
All right.
Dope.
And as you guys finish up your watch and get ready for sleep, Perry and Sinric, I believe, were the last two. So you guys wake. Someone give me a perception check. Both.
You want to go ahead and do it? Because, I mean, I imagine it's still dark.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still relatively early in the morning.
Yeah.
Sinric, what do your human eyes see?
Nothing.
Not a damn thing.
Hey, I can see
Oh, well,
stars
Perry
and the
doesn't
moon.
see much either.
All right.
A 9.
It's quiet. And there's a bit of moonlight. The sky does seem to be opening up a little bit. But it's still quite cloudy and it's sort of off in the distance.
All right, I would like to do one thing.
Just hear the gentle dripping from
Yeah.
the entrance of the cavern at this point, as it is no longer raining, but it is, things are still wet and probably will be until the sun comes out to really dry things.
Druidcraft lets me create like a sensory effect that predicts the weather
Okay.
for the next 24 hours, and I would like to try that.
Okay. So you take some rocks in the area and some dirt, and you kind of like lay them in an area just on the outskirts of the cavern, and kind of craft your magic. And after a moment, the breeze kind of blows in a southeasterly direction. And from that, you get the sense that the storm is passing. It likely won't rain. It'll be cool, but dry.
Dope. So I will tell Senric that seems like we'll have clear skies tomorrow. Hopefully better hunting. Or easier hunting anyway.
Oh, that hopefully, yeah. I mean, being wet kind of sucks. But more importantly, I mean, how are you faring since everything that kind of went down in town?
I deeply regret trusting that man. I shouldn't have been so naive to think that I should have taken him at his word. I thought, well, maybe he's big and scary and he'll just intimidate them into giving back our stuff. I'm not good with city folk, Senric. Not good with city folk at all. I'm good out here with the animals and the hunting. And so those people didn't deserve to die. I didn't mean to kill the one I did. And then I thought I was going to be able to stop that man with just a little bit of entangle. I feel foolish and also very shitty about it, to be honest.
Well, I can certainly understand. Kind of like coming out at nights. I mean, especially with clear skies, you can take a look, see the stars, the moon. And one of the good things is the stars, they don't say anything. They don't judge you for what you've done. It's a moment you can just be you and see the light and see the way forward. So as much as, it sucks, life's about good and bad. And sometimes you make a bad choice, sometimes you make a good one, and we'll move forward. Just making sure you're okay, because I mean, I kind of get the feeling you haven't killed anyone before.
I mean, not really. Honestly, I don't think I've ever actually. No. I don't think I have. I hadn't even thought about it, to be honest. Hunting's one thing. I mean, you hunt because you gotta eat, but. And the thing is, I know what Campion said about how they were thieves, but. And our stuff was important, but it wasn't worth people's lives. And theft shouldn't be punished by death.
Well, I mean, in a perfect world, no.
It's why I was so eager to do this. I mean, I know I didn't really ask y'all at first. Sorry about that.
Well, this was a win-win situation. I mean, coming out here anyways.
Yeah. Kind of get the lay of the land. Now we know where those giants are and how to not go near them. Which was something I was terribly concerned about when we talked to that nice man about doing that mining for him. To be honest. And I mean, I got 2 new wild shapes out of it because I have to see animals to turn into them, and I had not seen those 2 yet. So that's handy.
Silver lining.
But yeah, I hadn't thought about it. Now I'm thinking about it.
Well, I guess the point I was trying to make is don't dwell on decisions we make, even if they're bad. I mean,
yeah.
The idea is to move forward, to learn. A mistake is only a mistake if you don't adapt and change. sometimes you can't get ahead by talking, and sometimes that act of violence is required. Other
Yeah.
times it's foolish to do that.
Yeah. You don't say much, but when you do say stuff, it's pretty smart.
It's a lot of listening. And not to mention, I mean, the world's kind of a bad place, and you learn not to say too much when that's the case. Eventually someone will use that against you.
True enough, I guess. I mean, this is the most I've seen of the world, so I don't have a frame of reference. But you're right.
I mean, general gist, people suck. You're relatively good and innocent, so people want to destroy that even more. It's not a fun place.
I suppose. But it's a place worth saving, I think. Because there is a lot of good.
Well, if we want to live.
Well, the only way forward is forward. You're right about that much. Thank you for checking on me. I've been so worried about everybody else, I just kind of don't worry about me.
I tend to keep worrying about myself too much. Sometimes it's best to, get out of your own head and into others.
I've always been the one that takes care of other people. I'm good at it, it seems. At least sometimes I am.
Well, I mean, a group like us, I mean, it seems like we might need someone to take care of us and keep our heads where we need to go.
Maybe sometimes.
At this point, we're, a six-headed beast all vying to travel in a different direction.
That's true. It's part of why I've been kind of taking the lead while we're out here. I'm good at out here. I'm good at this stuff. I'll let people like Baltame and Oriana deal with the city folk.
Maybe Balt. I don't know if that's a better idea.
Well, they're better at talking than I am.
Are they?
Baltame managed to get us out of the giant problem.
That's fair, but I wouldn't classify those as city folk.
That's true. That's very true.
I mean, last time we were in a city, their plan was to disguise themselves as a couple. One of them jumped out of a window.
They both did drugs. The drugs were good. The drugs were funny. Well, they both tried to buy drugs. The drugs on Baltame's side were not a good idea.
I mean, it's just... They'll get better.
We all will. We kind of don't have a choice.
Well, there's always a choice.
Well, it's get
Just
better or
the outcome.
die, and I figure better is better.
Well, here's the better.
Here's to better.
All right. As the morning sun begins to crest over the eastern horizon and the skies, you see the clouds begin to break. And it looks like it'll be a cloudy morning, but likely open up in the later morning, earlier afternoon. And as the light begins to shine in and slightly warm the cool air around you, that is where we'll take our break for the evening.
Ew.
So you guys can have time to prepare your spells for the day, figure out what you want to do. We will just be taking a short break to use the restroom, grab a drink, get ourselves resituated, and we will be back shortly. Please stick around. Thank you all so much for watching, and see you in just a few short minutes.
I'm gonna change my spells.
Just that was lovely.
Sorry.
Professional.
Yeah.
We are a
hey
professional
guys.
D&D stream.
Yeah.
Hooray! You're welcome, internet.
Okay, we're back. Sorry about that, guys.
Wow.
All right. So, what are you guys gonna do
Okay.
for the
well,
like 15th time? We're trying to get you started
Right.
on this next day.
I feel like every time I go to start talking about what we're gonna do, that's when everything craps out.
Okay, you're not allowed to
Um,
talk.
Apparently
Just
not.
stop. Just stop trying. No, but
Good
yeah.
luck.
What's up?
Doing this without your druid. Okay. So, here's the thing. Mountain goats are little. And
Right.
honestly, I don't think we're going to get a whole herd of them. We could hunt for bears or mountain lions. We could make our way back down a piece and try for Oric again.
Right. Well,
I mean, those are our options, really.
right. I say maybe we start with either trying to find bears, since they were likely to find them more than we would be down in the place where we found the orcs. I would
All right.
imagine. If we can't find them, maybe lions again. Otherwise, we just try the other thing. Just, I don't know.
I vote
That's all I
bear.
can think of.
All right. I will sit down after breakfast and ritually cast Locate Animals focused on bear.
Okay. You get a few pings.
Ooh.
You get one pretty far south. You get maybe 4 miles south. You get another one about 2 miles north. Northeast, I guess.
Okay, 2 miles northeast.
And you get another one 3.5 miles northwest.
Okay, all right. Well, we can go. I vote we don't go 4 miles south. However, 2 miles northeast of here, I've got I've got a line on them, and also about 3.5 miles northwest. So we definitely want to head north. I'm thinking northeast.
All right.
Correct me if
Question.
I'm wrong, real quick. Isn't South back down the mountain, and weren't those tall guys north? Maybe we want to avoid their area. I did tell them we went.
Yeah,
Okay.
northwest is more where
There.
Where the
giants
were.
Right.
So if I go northeast, we should be okay.
Yeah, currently. I mean, you're not sure where northwest. Like you have a ping coming from the northwest. You're not sure if it's directly in their territory, past their territory, what.
Right.
But if you continued in that general direction, you would potentially come across them. So.
Okay. So yeah, we could go northeast.
But as far as you know,
northwest.
you've not been northeast, so you're not really sure.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I don't know. I mean,
more of my thing is that it would be back down the mountain, closer to where we need to go back, because we'll be done after this, correct?
If we get another large thing, I think that's what was required.
You were looking for a bear, right?
That's what I'm saying. If we get something else that's large and we manage to successfully harvest it again, I think that might be all we need. And if we can get a little more while we're at it, great. But that is the requirement.
I mean, we can head back down the mountain south. I mean, we're going to be going 4 whole miles before we hit the bears. But we might also run into something else.
Yeah, I just prefer not to involuntarily lie to those people after they kindly give us information.
Right, I don't want to encroach upon their territory.
No, we want to stay away from wherever their lands are, because they were kind enough to allow us to leave under our own power before.
Right.
I'd like to maintain that relationship as much as we can.
Quite know how tribes work, but I don't know if they necessarily have one area or the whole place is,
It would depend on the size of the tribe.
Well,
the size of the tribe. I mean, and how big their villages are, to be honest. Not all tribes are the same. So we can head south. I mean, it wouldn't hurt. We
Correct
might
me
run
if
into
I'm
something else.
wrong, though, but if we go south down the mountain, aren't we going to have to go back north up the mountain to get back to Cageborough? Aren't we like
Or back into the desert.
west?
Yeah, you're currently you've gone much further south, and you went high and then came down a bit for this mountain lion. You originally started much further northeast. That's where the original path you were on came from.
Okay.
Go back or cut through the desert around.
So,
But if you go, if you go south, you could
northeast,
come
we're
back
going
through the mountains potentially through paths, or you could find a trail that leads you back into the desert and come around back that way, or what. But you also have been out for 2 days, 2.5 days now.
Yeah.
So
Is there is in one of those directions that she said, is one of those something where we would be able to head in that direction, thereby cutting our travel time back down?
yeah, northeast would be
Northeast,
the
Okay.
direction. You're just, like I said,
And is
you've
that-
not been in that direction from where you currently are. It would be a new
Okay.
path that you're trekking, so you're not sure
Okay.
what's on the way there,
Right.
or what you're doing. But like, there's nothing stopping you from doing that. That would, if
Okay.
you were to run into something and be successful, you would likely have a shorter path back to where you started.
I think
Right.
that might actually be the best.
Right. I mean, if we stay to the east, we should be able to avoid the giants.
Yeah, potentially.
Plus
As
At
far
least that's
as-
my hope.
As far as what you know.
So that gives us a more of a researched area for when we need to come back for mining purposes.
Also true. I mean, Balsam, you do make a really fair point about the giants, but I think if we stay east of them, we won't run into their area. And if we spot them, we will immediately turn back and go the other way.
Yeah, if we happen to accidentally encroach on their territory, we just, if they make themselves known, be like, oh, okay, oops.
Didn't know this land was also yours.
Yeah, this looks way different in the light of day. Pardon us, and then just took off in another direction. And then maybe if they happen to be friendly again, we're like, by the way, you happen to know where any bears are? And then we go off in that direction, also away from their land.
They
Fair
also
enough.
didn't seem particularly hostile. I'm sure that they do not want outsiders approaching on a fairly regular basis, but
Right, but just
we need to travel through the mountains.
right, just
If we happen to approach their lands, we just be respectful and do not enter.
it's just one time is a coincidence, 2 times is a habit.
I understand. I don't fancy a trek through the desert without our sand-skinned Hellerix either.
Oh, I don't like that idea either.
And I think if we go too much farther south, we're going to run into trouble as far as getting back. And I'm assuming they're expecting us not to take 3 weeks out here.
So east.
So northeast it is, I suppose.
Sounds good to me.
All right. Northeast we go.
Okay, so you begin heading in that direction.
Uh-huh.
After the 10 minutes, after probably about 5 minutes at this point, your spell fades, and you know the general direction, but that's all you have.
Yeah.
So how are you going to continue searching for?
Okay.
Creature?
Terry said about 2 miles away, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Two
So
and a half, yeah.
Oriana's going to try and just kind of calculate in her head how far they're traveling in that direction and try and keep like a mental note of about 2 miles.
Okay. Make a
That's
general
smart.
intelligence check to do so.
That's really smart, actually. Because none of us have keen mind.
Yeah.
Okay. General intelligence.
Yes,
Here we go.
Ooh.
20,
Okay.
30.
Nice.
So as you are traveling. Some of the paths that you come upon break off, and you have to like kind of choose a branch. And as you choose one that seems better suited to your travel as a group, you're kind of like keeping a tab of how far you've gone and how far you think it would take to travel about 2 miles, to let the group know when you get closer to that area as you continue on. What else are you guys doing?
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to start since the rain has passed, and hopefully there might be a fair amount of mud and stuff. I'm gonna look for tracks and like other signs of animals.
Okay, go ahead and make a.
My idea, so go for it.
Go ahead and make a survival.
All right.
I will. Too late.
15.
All right. You find a few tracks here or there. Now that sort of the rain has washed away a lot, it's a bit easier to find tracks, but you find quite a few different tracks of larger creatures. You believe you're following bear tracks. Or something of that nature as you continue. At points you feel like you lose it and then pick it up again, and sometimes it feels like you're not, like they don't make sense, like maybe you're not tracking exactly where it's gone but where it's been. But you feel like you're making progress as opposed to none.
Okay.
And it's getting closer to about midday at this point. But you have made headway, and Oriana is letting the group know that based on where you've been, it seems like you're getting close to that sort of 2.5 mile mark. So it should be close.
Cool.
What is anyone else doing?
Now's a good time to cast the spell again, guys. Maybe see if we can. Because it's been about 2 hours or 2 months. So yeah.
Yeah, it has.
I could do it the regular way instead of ritually, so that we can do it quicker.
That's not a bad idea.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna actually use a second level spell slot to cast locate animals again.
Okay.
Instead of ritually.
You get a ping
get closer.
For a bear a little bit northwest of you from where you currently are, and further kind of like up. Like the direction. And you continue on for the 10 minutes till the spell fades, and the ping seemed to stay relatively
stationary,
yeah.
Okay, so I lead them that way.
Okay, you lead them that way, and you go for about another 20 minutes, and you come to a branch of 3 various paths. One kind of leading up northwest, but like further kind of west. One that leads kind of like more north, and one that kind of leads north, but kind of curves around a little bit.
Okay.
Does it look like there's any kind of tracks or anything where a bear would have gone on any of these paths, or any kind of sign at all? Like,
make a survival check to see for tracks again.
I will
inspire.
Okay.
But do be aware that you've already done survival once. So the DC
yeah, I
higher.
know. I'm trying to think of something else, but that's like the
well,
only thing I can think of that would be in this area. I mean, if someone else has something, then
let's see for a minute.
I mean, I kind of want to look for something else, but it's along the same vein.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. I'm gonna look for something else, but it's kind of
Well, are
Yeah.
you just like looking for things,
I
or are
was
you
gonna-
tracking?
I was gonna look for like,
Poop.
yeah, because I mean we're that close.
Yeah.
I
But
think that might still be a
I think
survival.
it'll show the same thing.
Wait, what were you gonna look
Yeah.
for?
For poop.
Poo.
For feces.
Poop.
Scat. He was gonna look for bear scat.
yeah.
No, I'd let you do that with perception.
Nice.
So whoever's doing the perception, I'll
Because
Oh, yeah,
tracks
go-
are literally looking at tracks are not just like, oh, I see 2 tracks down at my feet. That's a
Right,
perception.
Yeah.
Tracks are like, I'm using those tracks to then keep track of them and follow them in a specific direction.
Yeah.
Well, actually,
Yeah.
what I was trying to do is literally just find the tracks, any kind of animal sign, just to see like if we can,
Yeah.
Yeah, I
if
know,
we
but
keep on the
finding
right track.
but what I'm saying is like I'll say like you don't even need to make a perception check. Like you've been following, like there are tracks,
Okay.
but there are tracks in multiple different places.
Right.
And finding which one is the bear, a bear's, and following that is a survival.
Okay.
Right.
versus looking for bear pooes.
Right. I mean, yeah, I can try
So-
to just look for.
So,
Sure.
Sinric, is that what you're doing? You're looking for bear poo?
Do you want to do that, Paul, or you want me to?
You can go ahead.
Okay.
All right,
I'll
go
take
ahead,
it
and
away.
make
I'd rather
a,
not.
go ahead and make a perception.
I'm help like that's.
Tinric.
Yeah.
It looks like the bet is over.
You were doing good like a session.
Okay, go ahead and make the perception.
So that's a 7.
Oh,
Okay.
What's a D8?
Yeah.
What's
Plus
a
a
D8?
D8.
add that D8.
I'm-
it
I'm
might
working
be not
on it.
garbage.
No,
Okay,
that's
an
an 8.
That's
All right.
still garbage.
So,
Well, I'm
Bad for
looking for
bones.
garbage, so.
yeah. So as you guys continue forward, Sinric, you think you do find actually some like animal feces, and it looks fairly large, and it's going in the north, not the west one, but the more like north, like the north but slightly west one.
So I'll point that out to everyone.
Fresh.
Okay.
I'm gonna smell it.
Perception.
Did you follow that direction?
No, I'm gonna smell the feces. Is it fresh? Hey,
He's
this is
gonna
what we
get
do.
in there
This is
like
what we
Laura
do.
Dern
Bear
and
Grylls,
This is what we
man.
do.
Do it.
it's, I won't say it was just laid like 5 seconds ago, but it's
Right.
It doesn't look like
Smells like poo.
It's potent.
it doesn't
I'll
look
break it apart.
like hardened or anything like that.
Relatively fresh. Got it.
Okay.
I love D&D.
Well, I'm about to ask a weird and gross
This is how
question
you
anyway.
fight.
Having been a bear and also having had experience, does it look like bear poof, or is he?
You would have no fucking clue what bear poop is versus mountain lion shit versus like any other predator's crap. Like it's shit. You know?
Okay, I mean, like, yeah.
What I'm saying is like large animals that eat
Right.
similar diets
Yeah, I get
will
it.
have
I get it.
similar poo.
Yeah, no, I get
That
it.
makes sense.
That makes sense.
And
Well,
just because you are a bear doesn't mean like you have like
Yeah.
the
I
know-all
recognize
on
my own
what
shit.
kind of
Uh,
shit.
When was the last time you pooed as a bear?
It's like you taking a poo
Yeah,
beside Quinn beside the next person and being like, "Oh,
Yeah,
I
no,
know
I get
exactly
it.
which one's mine."
Is this a druid shit or
Yeah,
a large?
yeah. But yeah.
well, I mean,
so
I also know that bears
it's
are
a cleric,
omnivores.
you
it's
de-
holy
what I
shit.
will say is what I will say
Well,
is
breaking
from
it apart.
from the feces, like it is easy to see that it is a carnivorous animal.
Okay.
It is
'Cause that's
something
a-
that eats
That's good
like
enough.
that eats
Yeah.
meat.
In explanation for the I know that bears are omnivores versus like some predators are strictly carnivores. So
Yeah,
it's like,
like, this
you know, do
one
I see
is-
like
Yeah, this one
That's-
looks like
that's what I was
it
breaking it out
is like it's something that has meat in its diet.
right? Okay.
Okay.
That didn't help.
That's like the most you can tell from it.
Yeah, that's fair.
We found the poo, so should
Based
we go
on
this
based
way?
on that perception and what you see, that's what I'll give you.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I mean,
I have no other ideas, honestly. We can follow this way a little piece, and if it leads nowhere, we can always double back and take another path.
all right.
You begin to trek up this this side of the mountain, and it takes you. The path begins to get a bit steeper, and you are heading a bit higher, and it gets a bit cooler. And eventually, the path kind of switches back around, like a part of the mountain, and it kind of like curls around a little bit. And as you're all kind of like walking, I need every single one of you to make a dex save.
Oh shit.
Oh, okay.
Oh no.
Okay. Oh, that's an 11.
Oh, that's a natural.
No, you rolled a
It's a
7.
21.
You rolled a 7 first.
Oh, did I?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
got it.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it pinged
Must have
twice.
clicked it twice.
Yep. 13. How's that possible?
I'm gonna.
Also 13.
This is not good.
No.
I'm gonna use my convergence.
Okay, to reroll the save. All right.
Reroll my save.
Do
So probably a good idea.
Probably really good.
Time.
Whoa!
A damn good idea.
As you're walking around this path, and it's getting steep, you guys are paying attention to your footing and making sure that you all are like staying safe. And it's not difficult by any means. It's like the path isn't narrow to a point where you're going to fall off or anything like that. But you want to keep your footing. You don't want to slide. And given the ground is still drying from the previous day's storm, you're being extra careful. And you hear as you're kind of walking in the direction of and you all kind of like look up, and with the sun sort of blazing in the sky, it hurts your eyes for a second, and you see this large eagle creature.
Oh.
Oh.
And it's kind of it flies kind of above the group of you, and it's just flying overhead in the opposite direction of where you're going. And as you're all kind of looking up, you watch as it passes over you, and right on your face, Campion, just a giant wad of eagle shit.
Well, I hate nature. Nature sucks.
DM.
Yes.
DM mom.
Ugh.
Nice fake out. Nice fake out.
I'm.
So it's a kind of like it gets it on your glasses and it's like dribbling sweat, and it's dribbling down your face a little. And you have to take a moment to clean yourself.
At least it wasn't a pellet.
Quinn is trying very hard to not laugh. Just
A little bit got in your hair, you know. It's just
Yeah, they say being pooped on by a bird is good luck, you know, a 1 in a million shot.
People say that so they feel better, but they just got shat upon.
I think that's getting struck by lightning. That's like good luck, right?
Wow. I assume you clean yourself, Campion, so that you can see.
Yeah.
I'll help with some.
Oh, you prestidigitate him? Okay, so Oriana prestidigitates you, and
Oriana prestidigitates all over your face.
Okay.
So that you're clean once more. But the smell and slight taste is a little nasty.
That's gross.
The memory will stay with you forever.
I hate nature.
As you kind of continue around this path, you kind
I'm
of
gonna shoot
see
that
the
fucking
edge.
bird. Is that bird still in the air?
No, it's gone.
It
It's gone?
passed by. Yeah, you were blind for a few seconds, and you can't find it.
I love that we were all like, "Oh no, we're gonna fall down the cliff! Oh no, oh no!"
Yeah.
You see on the edge of your vision what looks to be coming to a plateau area, and go ahead and make a. Who would be at the front of the group? Because at this point, you'd kind of be making a. It would be single file. Okay,
Yeah, I would be in the
Perry,
front.
go ahead and make a perception check for me.
Okay. 11. What is with my rolls? It's either a natural 20 or it's useless.
Okay, it's hard to make out. You just kind of see a plateau, and you see various. It looks like pieces of greenery, almost like sticking out just from an area where you can kind of get a half look in front of you.
Okay. Well, if I don't see much, I'm going to keep easing up around, but I'm going to try to be as careful and quiet as possible.
Okay, so you want to try to be stealthy?
Yeah.
Make a stealth check for me. Is everyone else following?
I mean, yeah, I'd be following her lead.
All right, so group stealth then, please.
Woohoo! I can do that.
I can do
That's
that without
an 8.
disadvantage.
I give up.
It's a 25.
Thank you, Cedric.
Hold on.
Mhm.
Okay. 6.
All right.
13 again. Lucky number.
Champion.
12.
You still have the Cloak of Elvenkind as well?
Yes, I have it on.
Okay, cool. I wasn't sure if you'd changed your infusions or whatnot. Okay. So you feel like you're being stealthy, but with the group of you all moving together, though some of you are able to make it stealthier, you can hear yourselves making a little bit of noise, and you keep trying to like shh. And as you poke your head up around the bend, what you can see now and what turns to face you are 2 large, sort of black and gray bird creatures. You see another egg, very large. It's some kind of nest. These 2 large bird creatures kind of come over to you and like give you a once over. And I will say, strangely, look very much like the bird that attacked you in the desert.
Omelets, anyone?
No.
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 The opposite of that.
Okay.
I think backing away slowly.
Time to go, folks.
idea.
Time to go.
So,
All right, so you all start backing away.
mosey on back.
Mm-hmm.
Clarification: the birds,
Mhm.
they look like small burbs.
They're still large,
They're so big.
Like, they are large birds.
baby.
but they are not the size of the one that attacked you.
Got it.
Young rocks.
Got it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Wasn't sure when we were talking about size again.
And they
were
look
these,
like they're looking
I
at
don't
you like
know,
curious
or-
birds, and they seem like at first, when you first kind of round the bend, they come kind of over to you and like peck you a little bit, not harmfully,
Yeah.
curiously, and then try to nibble a little on your like clothing. But as you begin to back away, they follow you to a point, like to the edge of the nest, and but as one kind of like steps along and slips slightly and then flaps itself to get back up, they kind of like smartly step back and
Yeah.
kind of continue to rap, quite loudly.
Mhm.
And Perry,
Mm-hmm.
with your passive,
Oh no.
far in the distance, you hear a
Back now. Go.
On back this way.
We would like to run away.
all right.
Yeah. I start ushering us back as fast as we can go, as
Okay,
carefully as we
you
can go.
guys start
Mhm.
making your way back down the area, and by the time you get kind of back to that three-way path, you do see a large creature fly overhead in the direction that you just came from.
Oh dear. Okay.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Back to the cave.
Nature's quite pleasant sometimes.
We're more than 2 miles away from the cave.
Yeah, we're too far from the cave.
You get
So
the
when we
sense
get back to
that the feces that you found was something
Bird
else.
droppings.
Yep, bird droppings. All right. So we still had 2 other paths. One was sort of like north, but a little bit west.
One was like north, but actually more west than north.
Right.
Mhm.
The other one went more east and kind of switched around.
Okay. Well, we know that the bears were northeast.
Mhm.
So, and that's not toward where the rock nest was.
Okay.
Well, that was something I don't care to repeat. And I'm going to start leading us, I guess, north toward the eastern path, since we knew
Okay.
the bears were that way.
Okay.
Yeah, let's see how that goes.
All right. What are you going to do to try and see if you're going in the right direction?
So there was greenery. You said there was greenery.
That was
up on
at the
that,
plateau.
up on the
Plateau.
plateau, and you like once you
But
got
there's
up
a
there,
That's where
you
the nest
realized
was.
it was the nest. It was like the pieces
Got
of
it.
foliage
Yeah.
that the rock had brought to
Right.
pad its nest so that its babies would stay warm.
But there's no like greenery per se. Like
Not that you've seen.
okay.
I mean, obviously you've seen probably a bit of flora here, like, like mountain plants and things like that. But
Mhm.
nothing like that. Nothing like the watering hole so far that you saw,
Right.
or the that first plateau where the grazing aurochs were.
Damn, I have an idea, but Baltane would not know to fucking do that shit.
Can I persuade the world around us to tell us if there's a bear?
Try, certainly try.
No. All right.
Universe, if you're watching,
Ariana's not equipped
bear,
for.
please.
Why wasn't I a druid, guys? I can use my Boy Scouts training. It's for something at least.
I mean, I'm trying to think of how I can apply skills I actually am good at.
Yeah.
Because, I
See,
mean, survival
yeah.
is a good thing.
So,
Also, animal
think
handling.
outside the
There's no
box.
animals to handle.
This is not my best skill, but I will look around to see if there's what I would imagine activity of bears.
Okay.
And I'm angling
That's
for
fair.
like a nature check here.
Okay.
Like,
I mean, or you could be
Well,
investigating.
I was gonna say that's more of an
well,
investigation.
if investigation will work for that, then I'll take investigation.
Yeah, if
So
you're
better.
investigating to see if the areas that you're moving towards have signs of what you're looking for, bear claw marks, seeing if there is any hunts that his has completed that are in the area, an investigation will work.
Wish I could inspire it myself, but here we go.
You got this.
26.
Oh,
Nat
Nice.
19.
All right.
nice.
As you continue around this path, you do start to see the signs of like marks of what looks like a creature with fairly sharp claws.
Mhm.
And eventually, using those signs, you come back on like almost like a switchback going back south, and find yourself in front of a a larger cavern. And again, with your passive perception and the size of your group, you get the sense it is a single bear,
Cool.
and are able to cleanly take it down without too much trouble, given the number of you and being able to get the drop on it. So
Here's the question, though. Does Perry do the very comical thing of being a female bear walking up to the...
No.
Yeah.
Did she try to Bugs Bunny it? Is
We
that
tried
what
to
you're
Bugs
saying?
Bunny.
Like,
Perry
Yes.
takes this stuff very seriously. Thank you very much.
Perry does,
Um,
but we are a bunch of yahoos.
But anyway, so you guys managed to take it down. You get the tools out, I assume, and with
Yep.
Sinric's help, as per usual, begin the ritual of skinning and carving into it to gather supplies necessary to take back to the village. So go ahead and make a survival check, please, with advantage.
I will also inspire you
Okay.
with a little song.
oh boy.
She was a druid girl. She has magic that curls. She went on a quest to save the world.
Nice. There you go.
Cute.
Better ring the bell.
I dig it. I dig it. I feel actually inspired this time. 23.
Okay.
Let's just go ahead and roll that D8 and see
Might
how
as
well I
well.
do this.
Very
7.
nice.
So
30.
30.
All right.
Nice.
So
A filthy 30.
you are able to get 40 pounds of bear meat.
Okay.
You are able to get the bear hide and fur. You are able to get 20 bear teeth,
Cool.
including
Nice.
the canines. And you are able to harvest, I will say, the large bone structure of the bear for potential usage in crafting and other kinds of elements. Anything else? I think that would be the majority.
Yeah. That's pretty much what's usable.
You also now have cave bear.
Yes. Yay. Sweet.
They're a good bear.
They are a good bear. Question. Did I see, I know I can't fly yet, but did I see that eagle well enough to have eagle? Or was
No.
it too far away?
It was too
Too
far
far
away,
away?
and in the
Yeah.
sun.
Okay.
Makes
And
sense.
you were busy, like as you looked up, you were busy trying to keep your footing and not fall
Yeah.
to your death.
Cool. That's fine. I just figured I'd ask.
So I would say you'd have a general eagle, but like because you'd know what a general eagle.
Yeah.
would be,
I already had
but
General Eagle. I was
yeah,
hoping
giant.
maybe that's a giant eagle. I could get a giant eagle. I'd take a giant eagle. Oh,
We would all take a giant eagle.
okay.
Perry,
Yes.
I can't recall. I was just make sure we were just getting the meat and the furs and stuff. Are we allowed to keep these claws and teeth?
They might find them useful.
All right.
Suppose we'll
If they
find out
don't
when you
find
get
them
there.
useful, I would like one bear canine and one mountain lion canine.
I was going to ask if I could have some of the claws myself. Have something that I think would be nice.
Well, we'll see if they need them. If they don't need them, then I reckon we can keep them.
Right.
All right.
Let me make a note about the cave bear.
Yeah, I'll add that to your stuff. I'll add the mountain lion and the bear to your stuff for next week.
Thank you very much.
No
I'm
problem.
excited.
All right.
Woo.
So it's about mid-afternoon at this point.
Okay.
Hmm.
All right.
Where,
Well, we've
where
collected.
Are we? Yeah, where are we in terms of mountains versus final destination? Do we know that at all?
Not really.
Okay.
You're gonna have to figure it out.
Okay.
Okay, that's fair.
None of you
Fair
has
enough.
keen minds, so
No,
and you've been doing a lot of like switching back and heading in different directions, and you've been using
that's what I was afraid
Terry's
of.
locate creatures to or animals to get you a direction, but it hasn't. It's just been following like whatever direction her spell has been telling you to go. It's not been actually like, oh, we're gonna keep a trail of breadcrumbs to know,
Yeah.
exactly where we've been.
Sure, that makes sense.
So
I mean,
you
we're
have
not. I mean, we're not
compass, right?
backtracking right now, right?
But
No,
we
you
got-
figure.
want
I'll
to
say like you
backtrack.
generally figure that you are closer to where you started than
Mm.
you were earlier in the morning.
I
Yeah.
mean, well, I mean, can I levitate up in the air and then like coordinate, calculate distance?
Yeah, go ahead and
Yeah.
go ahead and make a perception check.
That's
Okay,
a
cool.
smart idea. I like this idea.
So
Can I
you come out
guide
of the
him if
cave
it's out of
and
range?
you come out of the cave and you go to levitate. You can guide him, sure.
Cool. I'll jump up and slap him on the foot.
Okay, cool. And then guide. That's
It's an extra
D4.
D4.
got you. Cool beans. Okay, cool beans. And then 1d4. So 13.
13. Okay, so you levitate up about,
fair enough.
20, 30 feet to get like a wider view. It's hard to tell.
Mhm.
It all looks like mountain.
Mhm.
This path is switched around back south, but seeing where you are, it looks like there's a fork that will take you back north again further down that way. You can't see the original starting path or anything that makes you look like the original starting path, and you certainly can't see Cage Barrow from where you are right now. But you figure that fork and switching back to go north again, and that you're on the eastern side of the mountain is probably your best bet.
Okay, so Campion relays that information.
All right.
I was gonna say, Cindric, I think I saw you for compass before, right?
I mean, not really a compass. I can.
I thought you had a compass.
I thought you.
No,
I
he was
mean, does
making
a
a map of
compass-
the desert. He was making like a map of
Yeah, I thought
landmarks
you
in
was
the
using
desert.
like tools
Yeah.
though.
Does the compass come with
He
the
has
navigator
navigation
tool?
tools.
Doesn't that come with compass?
I would think so, wouldn't it?
I would guess like a
I would
compass.
I mean,
assume
it doesn't
so.
make sense if navigation tools don't come with a compass.
Well, yeah, that does make sense. So,
So
they,
yeah,
yeah,
you would
I
have
do
a compass.
one. Okay, yeah, I do have one.
I mean, I just figured you'd probably been using that this whole time to at least get your directions correct.
Yeah, I
Um,
kind of assumed.
So, like you'll know that yes,
Yeah,
you'll
it
have
has
to
a
go
compass.
back.
It has
Like
a compass and a sextant and
yeah, so you know that you'll have to like what Campion is telling you is you'll be going back south right now, a little southeast to come back again north.
Right, that's what I say. We go eastish to the edge of the mountain, then go back up north because we know the city is up north unless we've gone past north. Correct.
So you're gonna head where Campion tells you.
Yeah, I think so.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, that
That
sounds
sounds
good
right.
to me.
All right, so you guys begin making your way down the path and come and switch back, and after about an hour or so, just ahead of you, maybe 80 feet or so, sitting by like another fork that one goes kind of again like northwestern and the other like continues straight. You see Perry with your passive Fennel.
Okay. As we approach, I'll wave him down.
Hey, guys are done?
We've got a fair big amount. We've got whole bear, whole mountain lion, whole auric.
All right.
See
Well, that's a
rabbits,
pretty
too.
good haul. I guess we'll have to see what the other group got. But I'm sure the boss will be happy that we've got quite a bit to spread around the town. These hunts are always worthwhile to make sure that people are kept fed and well for our little place. So, if you're ready to go, I think we can head this way, and I can make sure we get out of here.
All right.
That sounds fine. If we happen to run across anything else on the way back, or if you see anything, we can, add to our haul if it'd help.
Generally, heading down this way is getting us closer back into the desert. Probably not going to see too many things of the mountainish, beastish variety. Anything in the desert is probably more on the weird, monstrous insects-like variety. Probably better to steer clear.
That makes sense.
All
We've
right.
seen a few things out there.
Well, you guys all look like you made it out without too much problem. So good on you. Let's get out of here.
Works for me.
And he starts heading you along that path. And after about an hour or so, you guys find yourselves sort of at the base of the mountain, coming out a slightly different path, seemingly, than the one that you came in upon, but you are back to the base, and the stone rocky ground starts to give way to the sandy desert. And he turns to the group of you and he says, well, it's up to you guys, but we can make it through and get to Cage Barrow pretty late in the night, or we could make camp probably here would be best and trek out in the morning.
How late are we talking?
Oh, wee hours of the morning, maybe 2 in the
I
morning.
think better not to push our luck, yeah?
Like I said, I'm happy to lead you. I know this area pretty well, but I'm also fine with you guys taking a rest.
I think maybe we might as well just take it a little easier. That way we can make sure that as soon as we get back, we can get our supplies to the people that need them, as opposed to having to wake folk up in the middle of the night or wait.
Oh, we wouldn't
late
wake them
the
up.
next day.
We'd just get into the city and make our way to bed. But I totally get it. No problem. So then, and you see him like starting to look around, and he's like, over there. And he like points to a little like alcove in the mountain that's still on sort of rocky ground, but has a little bit of the like cliffside to give you some semblance of cover. And he says, we can make camp here, and get an early night and head out relatively early in the morning. Probably get back to Cage Barrow mid-afternoon.
Sounds like a good plan to me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that sounds fine.
All right. So he begins to like kind of like set himself into this little area and starts to make his own sort of like little camp.
Okay.
Now, you're more than welcome to share what we have as well. We've got the protective dome that we
I
use.
appreciate it, but I'm a bit of an outdoorsman myself, so I enjoy roughing it, I guess is the right term. Huh?
I can respect that.
I understand.
I figured to let you know that the offer stands if you change your mind, or if you feel like having, a bit, not much more comfort, but more like temperature control comfort, or a lack of rain.
It's relatively cool at night, and if you know how to bundle up, you can have a pretty good night's rest under the stars.
All right.
Fair enough.
But I appreciate it, and I won't be too far. I'm in the same area as you, so should
Right.
anything happen, I'm around to, try to help.
Well, we appreciate that as well.
All right.
All right.
And you see him like setting up his little area, and he helps get like a little like fire going as the sun begins to start to set, and gives you guys. You see him getting ready to like cook something, and he offers the food to the group of you. Surprisingly, he's quite a good cook, and
Nice.
it's, probably the most tasty meal you've had in the last few days that you've been out here, since you've been in any kind of civilization. And the last time you got breakfast when you were at the Dusty Bird. And it's nice to fill your stomachs with something wholesome.
I appreciate it.
Before you get ready for the evening, is there anything specific anyone would like to do?
Like one was do his usual nighttime ritual of pray, try to meditate. So that's just a wisdom check again, or we?
No, I'll just say like I did that once. But you attempt.
I want to make sure.
And it feels like you're each time you do it, it feels like you're making progress, and you're again you're providing your thanks and appreciation to Melora and to Bane for your bountiful hunt and the success of your journey.
I will specifically mention in my prayer to Melora the incident with the poop on Campion. Thank you for the comedy gold that was the poop on Campion. And then just like everything else is just in general,
Okay.
But I just want to make sure I do say that specifically because better him than me.
Nature is wonderful. Campion.
Nature's limitless bounty provides not just sustenance, but also entertainment.
Campion, can you please make a Constitution save for me?
Yes, I can. Don't suck. That's a 13.
Okay. It's been a while,
Yes.
but you've felt it, especially over the last few nights. It hasn't come upon you, but as you're sort of settling down back into the desert and getting ready to rest, and you're kind of working on Greybone, you and as you pull your hand back, red.
Oh, well, shit. It's happening.
You wipe it off your lips. And you thought the concoction that you had made was doing its job, but something's been coming on ever since the bazaar, and your body's been fighting it, but tonight it's just overwhelming. And after a few moments you wipe it away, and you just feel this sort of burning in your chest. That's it. Does anyone else wish to do anything?
I would like to start writing in my tome again.
Okay.
She's been kind of avoiding it for a while. She recounts everything. I write everything down from the bazaar.
Okay.
I write down everything about what we've been doing in the hunting. And almost in like third person, as more of a chronicle instead of a diary entry like she used to.
Okay.
Neat.
She's plagiarizing our adventures to write a novel.
All right.
In
Yeah.
fairness,
Okay,
I did
she's
give her permission.
Yep.
You know what? Hey, as long as Quinn gets
chronicling
royalties,
your story.
we're
Got
good.
it. Okay. So you spend a good few hours, because it's been a while, and recounting everything that you've been through. It does take a bit, and you try to recount as much detail as possible.
Being as honest as I can.
Yeah,
I'm not trying
and
to
given all of the
revision.
things that you've been through, there's quite a lot of detail. You've been a lot of places, and you've done a lot of things. Some good, some not so good, but like a lot has happened, and a lot has like opened your eyes to the many places of the world that you've never been, and people that you've never met before, and things like that. So you're able to do that.
In a similar vein, I want to sit down and sketch out the cave bear, and then I'm going to actually try to sketch out the rock nest.
Okay. Make a performance.
Oh, dear. Okay. I'm not good at performances. I do not do great this time.
All right. I mean, the cave bear is relatively easy, and it's pretty, you've already been around other bears. It's just, it's like a slight bit larger, a bit darker fur, slightly more pronounced claws and fangs, and a slightly sort of more I will say more sort of lean shape than some of the other bears. So that one you get pretty well, and you have a feeling like you'll have no problem using that reference to bolster your ability to wild shape.
Right.
The rock nest, it's hard. Like, you know what a bird's nest looks like, and you got the egg. Like, that was easy.
It's the birds, though, the problem.
Birds are hard because as soon as you saw them, your brain was alarm belling. And you were more worried about the fact that you didn't want this thing to come back and grab you and toss you off a mountain, or potentially swallow you whole, or tear you apart and feed you to its young.
Yeah.
And so as you draw them, you start drawing them, but then they turn more into Telerics.
Yeah.
And you're like, that's not right. That's too cute.
No.
And they were relatively if you could take in the moment, it would be probably pretty interesting and adorable. But you got the sense that these things were less like a Teleric and more. They almost had a more reptilian nature to their features and their gait. And you're just this isn't right. I'm gonna have to maybe try it again sometime. But
maybe later, and I just kind of get rid of it.
Anyone else?
While she's making the garbage drawing of the rocks, I just sort of walk up. Oh, that's a nice thing.
It's supposed to be the baby rocks, but
that's what I was gonna say. That's a nice drawing of those baby bird things. Yeah, that's a nice bird creature that you've drawn there. It's quite lovely.
I think that when my lizard brain kicks in and I'm terrified, I just don't remember things as well. I only really saw him for a split second before I was like, nope, y'all, we got to move. So, I mean, it's unfortunate.
Walk out of there pretty quick.
It's unfortunate. I'll try again later, maybe.
I wanted to say, since we're finally finished this whole excursion, that you did very well. You took the lead when you needed to, and you made sure that we all were on the right path, and everything actually worked out.
Thanks. I think I'm the only one of y'all who's actually, done this. But I think also a lot of it was I had to do this right. We had to succeed. It's important. What we did back there was so bad.
I'm aware.
And we had to make it right. And if this was how we made it right, then we had to succeed. And given that there was no option, I did everything I could.
Well, you did quite a lot, and I just want to let you know that we did better than we've done in quite a while because you were actually taking the reins of this whole operation. You know, you took the lead and we followed, and we succeeded.
I reckon
Had you not, I don't think we would have come out so well.
you never know. Although, I mean, honestly, the whole let's levitate Oryx up and then shoot them in the air seemed to be the silliest thing I'd heard in 100 years.
It was quite ridiculous, but you know, we've done dumber things and come out ahead.
It's true enough. I just some of it is I can't help but think about what Liz said back when we ran into him about what I protect. And I think what I protect is y'all. And by protecting y'all, I help protect the world. And so I've been doing my level best to do just that. I think that's why I feel like I failed in Cage Barrel a little bit. Because I didn't do much protecting.
No. Well, I wouldn't call that anyone's failure. That was a compound of a lot of things. But that's a nice way to think of it, as far as what you protect and that.
I mean,
Didn't think of it that way, but that's nice.
I've been thinking about it a lot, really. I mean, I've been thinking about home a lot and about how I never was real like everybody else as far as like my abilities and stuff. And then what Charlie said about the forest and how it dampens like wild magics. And I remember this time when I was trying, all of the other kids were like making trees grow, and I couldn't do it. Like I couldn't get it to work. And there was this tree with this like crystal coming out of it, and I think that was the stuff that dampens magic, and I don't know what that means, and I think that's why I'm out here, because this is where I'm supposed to be. I'm not supposed to be in the forest right now, or at all maybe. I'm supposed to be out here with y'all, looking after y'all and looking after the world.
Well, if that's where you're supposed to be, then I'm glad to have you. And hopefully we're all supposed to be here as well. I mean, I suppose we are, considering the path we've been put on and the fact that within, I don't know, 5 minutes of meeting each other, we all got slapped around and marked by, you know, the worst thing in existence.
Yeah.
There's sort of an air of fate to it, I suppose.
Maybe. You seem to be doing better.
It's a process. I've been trying to, you know, just sort of change.
Well, everything is constantly changing.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to keep changing with it. A rock that just stays the same just gets eroded away.
It's true.
We have to keep growing.
Well, that's what I'm aiming for, is just a long overdue personal growth, I suppose.
Well, better late than never.
That's true.
I mean,
that is true.
I was a late blamer too.
No,
Quite literally.
you know, yeah, I'm doing better than I had been. It's just more patience is not something I've ever been good at, and that's I think the hardest part.
Patience is hard. I'm not as patient as I look.
Well, you can do that thing where you literally sit and do nothing and think of nothing for long periods of time, and I'm still kind of rubbish at it.
You'll get better.
I have been a little, but still, it's just
It's
if you can willingly do that and it's something that you enjoy, then you've got more patience than you think. Because I'm trying to do that to learn patience, and it feels almost like I'm being punished.
think of it. Don't think of it as punishment. Think of it as I treat it like a reward, like a chance to quiet the million things going on in my brain. Because if I don't, I'm gonna fly apart. Like up here on the mountain, everybody's relying on me, and if I didn't meditate every night and I didn't slow down, I'd explode because I wouldn't know what to do. And instead, I quiet that itch in the back of my mind. And I tell the little voices in the back of my mind that say that you're not good enough or smart enough or strong enough and you're going to fail. And I tell them to shut up and let me breathe. And it's a relief. It's like being outside on a clear night when you can see a full moon and nothing else. It's peace. Try thinking of it that way.
I may. That's.
Thinking about it as punishment's not going to help you at all.
I wasn't being literal. Just like the fact that I'm just trying to. I feel like I'm making up for past misdeeds long before this.
Well, maybe you are a little bit.
I might, but that is an interesting way to look at it. I didn't think of it that way. Let me try that next time.
Don't worry, you'll get it eventually. And it's funny to watch you try.
I'm glad I can provide some levity.
The other night, you kept like moving around and scratching and stuff, and then you got up like you had sat for 20 minutes.
I thought I had. Honestly,
you looked so pleased with yourself, and I just didn't have the heart to tell you.
I was, and then I realized it had only been about 5 seconds, and then it was so disappointing. But no, I wanted to make sure that you knew that the reason we made it out of all that and did as well as we did is you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
And
means a lot.
I'm just glad I can be the one to tell you, because it's something that you need to hear. And you may think that you have to, calm yourself to know what the right thing is and what you need to do, but you seem to know that just right off the bat, or just right on the spot. You're more capable than you give yourself credit. I know you've struggled in doing things like that before, or doing things in general before, but a lot of things were different about a lot of people before. I was essentially the village idiot before. And now I can make lightning with my hands.
Fair enough.
So, life is indeed change. But just, like I said, just you don't give yourself quite enough credit for all you can do. I'm thinking maybe that needs to change.
Maybe. Not real good at that.
Takes practice.
Yeah, I know.
Make all the faces you want. Doesn't make me any less correct. And I'm just gonna walk off.
Anyone else?
Yeah, just like as when we were eating, Bossy would just kind of I guess like do a toast, an informal toast.
Yeah.
And just say, I don't know about the rest of you all, but I think these last few days doing this has been good for us. You know, we were tasked to do this. I think the not having a looming threat has been good. The nature, even though had a target inside, it was felt more free than I've seen from all of you all, not in your heads or in your element for some of you. And I think what's the saying? The phoenix rise again. There can be good things out of mistakes. Hopefully we can take what we have in this hunting trip, apply it to the darkness that's in our path ahead of us.
We did good work and we worked well together.
We did. Hopefully we can keep this trend going.
No, just raise a.
Yeah, same.
You guys raise your water skins.
Yeah.
All right.
We could do this again for real in a bar back in town.
Agreed.
Agreed.
This is a placeholder. Competence.
To a successful hunt.
You all toast. Finish your meals. Anything else that anyone else wants to do before the night ends? All right. You all find yourselves inside the dome, comfortable once again, back on the ground, not in a strange place where you're not really sure of the flora and fauna and creatures that live there. Riding higher than before on the fact that relatively unscathed, you managed to successfully complete the task before you, and in the morning we'll be heading to complete the penance placed before you and perhaps get back on track to whatever lies ahead. And you all find yourselves having a good night's rest to await whatever comes when you head back to the town of Cage Barrow and meet back with the Desert Rose and Aiden. And that is where we will end our session for the evening. Thank you, everyone,
Cool.
for sticking with us. I am really sorry about the technical problems. I don't know what's going on with my computer. Everything's frozen and slow. This is a brand new PC, so something is eating something. This is worse than my old PC.
I'm telling you, you're being haunted by the ghost of your old computer.
Yeah, it's not happy with me.
Why did you replace me?
I thought you loved me.
And it can't just be Chrome eating my resources. There's something else going on here. So, but I will try to figure it out for next time. I thought I had it all worked out because the What's the Damage stream before we took a break for the holiday was perfectly fine and everything was working.
Really well.
And I didn't have any issues whatsoever. And so I was like, oh, all good. But no, that's the way of life. But thank you all for sticking with us. We will be back again next week to see what happens when the group gets back to Cage Barrow and become inducted into the Desert Rose and figure out what to do next. We will have a What's the Damage on Tuesday. So feel free to come back for that and see who are the guests and what is chatted about. If you enjoyed the session, please share with your fellow D&D lovers. The best way to help a stream grow is to spread the word, and we really appreciate it. And remember, folks, it's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice. Have a great Friday. Make good choices. And we hope to see you back here next week. See you later.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.